Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Oh, get your notebooks out, children. It's going to be a lot of lessons today. Lots of lessons. This was like too easy. I'm sorry. When things like this drop in my lap, you guys know I have to touch them, right? I have to touch them. Because the entertainment is paramount here at Rationalmale. It is tantamount. It is something. I like to think that it's entertainment, but it's also edutainment. I should just let it run out. This is the last show of 2020 on the Rationalmale. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I got some new sound drops, but I have to wait for the perfect moment for them. And I want to thank, I forget the guy's names. Damn it. Whoever gave me the new sound drops, I swear I saved your email. I just don't have it off the top of my head. Thank you for the sound drops. Oh boy. Today's going to be a live one. I'm probably not going to go as long as I usually do for this one. I decided to do this. We are on holiday schedule right now. That's why I decided to do this 2 hours later than I usually do on a Wednesday. Sundays are usually the days that I save for, I don't know, more in... What would you say? Would you say that the Sundays are more like a classroom setting? I guess maybe today is going to be a little bit like a classroom setting as well. I'm going to go through... I'm going to do a breakdown video, and I have no idea who this dude is. Very much like I had no idea who Jay Cook was when I did that breakdown video. Like I had no idea who Pinnacle of a Man was until I decided to do that breakdown video. And I'm not necessarily above the red meat. I just want to make sure that there's actually some steak with the sizzle. So hopefully we'll give you a little sizzle today too. I do have Myron Gaines coming in on the show today. At some point he's gonna drop in. And the reason for that is he just put out I don't know how many videos he did on TikTok. And they were these little quick hit. I think he was just sort of testing the waters with TikTok, and he was just putting out these quick hit videos. And the stuff that he was putting out on these videos is nothing that hasn't been already covered by PUAs, by gameologists, by RSD, Real Social Dynamics, Todd Valentine. I mean, name the PUA that your favorite PUA, and they probably put something like this out, most likely back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. This was back when like you could I guess you could still sell like DVDs of videos and things like that, but or seminars and stuff. And a lot of this stuff is not something that I think is any. It's not like revelatory. It's not anything that's really super spicy as far as I was concerned. I mean, I was just watching this stuff and pretty much it's like Red Pill 101 stuff. It's the things that I have. There's a lot of stuff that Myron covers in my book. I mean, a lot of it's kind of hard not to, and this is going to sound like a humble brag, I know, sorry, but here it comes. It's kind of hard not to, even my haters, right? It's kind of hard not to take some of the ideas that I have put forth from the Rationalmale and have them find their way into people's techniques, people's rationales for why game ought to work. Again, as you probably already know, I'm one of the one of the three R's of the, I guess there could be four. One of the three R's of the manosphere. I'm the last R of the manosphere, Rollo, Roosh, and Royce. as such, I think we have left our mark on the manosphere and game and everything else. But my main drive ever since, say about 2002 on SoSuave, on the SoSuave forums, was digging into why PUA works, why game works, and I had a fascination with it because it was really kind of behaviorism. And this was something I was actually studying at the time that I was writing this stuff on SoSuave, which found its way into my blogs, which found its way into my books. So it's kind of hard not to see something like Myron put something out like, what to do if a girl flakes on you. And he's not saying anything in these videos that Roosh hasn't written about or Royce, Hartis, whatever. Like, it's nothing that they haven't written about already. It's nothing that Mystery or even Neil Strauss or any of the guys from RSD haven't already been writing about for a very long time. And as far as I know, I was the only one, still am the only one, who just sort of took these behaviors and said, well, why? Why does this work? Let's look under the hood. Let's connect the dots. Let's see why this is so prevalent. Let's see why this is a predictive framework. And I like using that term because that's really what game is it's experimental, of course. The red pill is the theory and game is the practice. And without the other, one without the other is incomplete. So if all you're learning is game techniques and learning how to pitch things and learning how, like if you're delivering pickup lines by rote memorization, you probably aren't as red pill aware as you would like to think you are. And if all you ever do, and this is on me, if all you ever do is read The Rational Male, if all you ever do is read books, if all you ever do is read red pill material, and you never put it into practice and you never experiment with it and then refine your art, your craft, whatever it is that you want to call it, you pick up some social skills, pick up some social graces, pick up some, your ability to sort of read people a little bit better. And I mean people in general, but also in particular women, of course. If that's all you're doing and you're just reading and not going out there and putting it into practice, well, that's incomplete too. Now, those are two concepts that are going to be very important to remember on today's lecture, children, because I'm going to dig into some stuff. We have a very good example of blue pill conditioning in this guy Philion, and I have no idea who the guy is. So before I get started, I'm going to throw out standard caveats, as I always do. I'm not going to roast. Thank you. I'm not going to roast Philion today. Although this is pretty much him roasting Myron Gaines, and Myron, I see in the waiting room there for a second, but I do need to throw this out there really quickly. Was it Philion is awesome at roasting fake natties, bodybuilders, right, and Instagram influencers. He is a blue pilled alpha. That's a good description, because I watched through this video and I go, yeah, I get it. This is Remember when I always say that the worst white knights in the world are blue pill alphas? You're about to watch a little bit of that. Well, actually, quite a bit of that here in just a moment. But I think it's important to remember that I'm not trying to burn down Philion here. All I'm going to do is analyze why he is reacting the way that he's reacting. Now, he did this sort of takedown video, or he did this sort of reaction video, I think, to Myron Gaines' TikTok videos, which, by the way, have made the national news. Those TikTok videos where he's talking about how to basically how to train your girlfriend, or how to train a potential girlfriend, or using essentially operant conditioning on women, which is something that I've always talked about and always written about, because my background is in behaviorism, and with a good portion of Evo Psych, but that's where my field of study was when I, back in 2004. So a lot of the stuff that game depends on, or the early game techniques depend on, or not say depend, they're based upon, is operant conditioning. Now, that's whenever I talk about blue pill conditioning, that's what I mean. Conditioning, meaning that it is something that is habituated. It's something that is meant to prompt. It's a stimulus that prompts a response or prompts a behavior. and distilled down to its constituent parts, that's really what behavioral psychology is about. Now, remember, there's also a tenet I need you guys to remember when we're talking about behavioral psychology, because I just tell you that tenet is that the only reliable way to determine intent, to determine motivation, to determine incentive is to observe behavior. Because if people are telling you things, if people are reporting things, I'm not saying that they're not honest, but of course there's always what is motivating them to tell you those things. Observing a process will change the process. That's the observer effect. You want to know why I always tell guys, don't tell women that you are red pill. Don't tell women that you are using game. Don't tell women you're reading the rational male. Don't tell women that you are like, if there's a girl that you want to get with, or that you are, whatever, if you're pursuing her, if you are in any way dating in any regular sense, if you are out there, you're putting yourself out there, you're using game, or you're experimenting with game, or whatever it is, remember that the medium is the message. It's not what she's telling you, it's what she's doing. And that's what a lot of, well, I would say percentage-wise, I would say it's like 85 to 90% of game is watching and learning from behavior. And then adjusting your behavior and adjusting your art. That's why they call it pickup artistry, not pickup science, because there is an art to it. You have to understand what your strengths are. You have to play to those. Your strengths might not be what other guys' strengths are as well. So you've got to find some way to sort of, there's general rules, and that's really where Myron gets in trouble, because he's throwing out TikTok videos about like, how to punish a woman for being flaky, how to punish a woman for canceling a date, how to punish. And so using those terms, I also want to throw this out there, neuro-linguistic programming, which is if you use certain terms or certain words, you're going to set the connotation of your discussion or whatever it is that you're trying to convey in one light or another. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, it's a thing. I'm not necessarily convinced that it's programming, but I do know that a selection of words, choice of words, is something that's really, I think, almost a lost art, particularly for guys right now. When I use the term, when I say, well, women are opportunistic when it comes to love, I see your back, Myron. When I talk about how women are opportunistic when it comes to their approach to love, women lose their minds. And guys, who I would have no doubt that Philion here would lose his mind as well when I talk about how women's approach to love is opportunistic and men's approach to love is idealistic. And I spell this out in no uncertain terms, and I always say this, I say it in as nice a way as I can. That's the most clinical way that I can describe women's approach to love. I'm not saying they're bastards and they're opportunistic and they're just profiteers and marketeers and they're this evil cabal of womankind that is trying to keep the man down or something like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that their fundamental approach to love is based on an opportunism that is rooted in hypergamy, which is their innate mating strategy. When you spell it out like that, they go, okay, I get it. I get where you're going with this. But if I say, yeah, women are opportunistic and men are idealistic, then, oh my Lord in heaven, is going to make the 6 o'clock news. Just like these TikTok videos have made the 6 o'clock news with Myron. He's been on these, I guess they have been taken down. I think he lost his TikTok account as a result of these because it went viral there. We're talking like millions of views. Like 1.4 was the last I saw. I think it might even be higher than that. I think it might be above that by now. Myron will fill us in on this, but I've got him hanging in the wings here, and I'll bring you on in just a second, Myron. I just wanted to throw this one last thing out here is that, again, this is not a burn on Philion. This is analytical. So look at this as more of a just sort of picking apart arguments. I don't know this guy from Adam, honestly, and I'm not going to throw rocks at him. And I don't really care. I know that a lot of other people are going to, and I know that a lot of people in the comments are going to have a field day with this. I've already seen the black pill, doom pill, spurg pill communities. They're kind of like, they don't know whether to shit or go blind with this because they all hate Myron, but they all can't say that they like this guy either because he's very much a blue pill alpha. You're right. I think, and you guys can correct me on this because I don't know enough about this dude, but from what I was able to gather, I guess he's sort of like a bodybuilder, or he has some sort of, he's into like lifting or something like that. So, so I know that's going on. I realize some guys are saying he's gay. I don't know if he's gay. I don't really care. All I'm going to do is pick apart the arguments here. A lot of guys are saying that his wife controls him. Again, that might be the case. I'm not going to say it's one way or the other. I'm going to try to stay as objective as I can during this whole thing. So bear with me. This is not a burn. I'm not trying to say you don't go, unsubscribe from him or whatever. Actually, go subscribe to him if you want to. But I'm going to bring Myron on. Myron, you ready? Wave to me, brother. Are you good? You're good. Okay. I'm going to bring Myron on. We're going to break this thing down together. Here we go. I got Myron.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Dylan, dude.
Hey, everybody says I shouldn't bring you on. Are you getting an echo? Cause I think I turned echo thing off here. Hang on. Let me do the audio again.
Yeah.
There you go. Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Okay. I was just I turned off echo cancellation for the intro music. I always have to like remember to go back and turn it back on. Cool. All right. So I want to do this little breakdown video. I know, and let me just say, also just throw this last thing out there is I know you're going to do a show with Donovan on this on Saturday. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so you guys can look forward to that. I also want to give you guys a plug for that because the stuff I'm going to talk about today is probably not what you're going to get into with him. And so I wanted to sort of cut this apart because I saw some of the TikTok videos. Why don't you give us a little bit of background before I turn this video on and we kind of like pick it apart here. But so what's happened? I know you were on Fox News, you were on Yahoo. So you put out, how many TikTok videos did you put out?
So I put out a bunch. It was a TikTok account called Fresh, and then November Fit, and it did really well. We hit 70,000, pretty much 70,000 followers in 7 days. Two of the videos, one video got 2.2 million, one video got like 1.5, like 1.6, 1.7 million, and the one that got 1.6 is actually the most controversial one, which was when I talked about when a girl tries to reschedule with you, which you have. I don't know if you want to play it for the people. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, so like we made the TikTok account because TikTok, you could get a lot of fast growth if you make, pretty good content on there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, it was a business strategy. And I was just talking like facts. I didn't think it was going to blow up like that. But like, it basically confirmed, red pill truths that we talk about all the time that like, if you hold a woman accountable in today's day and age, like they're going to come after you and call you a misogynist or whatever. You know what I mean? That's the unfortunate reality of the day of the world we live in nowadays,
I thought that was kind of the overall theme of all of this is men are not allowed to have standards. You're not allowed to say one thing or another. And I've used this example, and you're already familiar with this. Like when Rich Cooper throws out a list of like 6 items like women can like do to make, to increase their chances of finding a good guy, right? Like stay thin, keep your hair long, no tattoos, just basic stuff like, don't have a lot of debt, or I don't know, whatever and it doesn't really matter. It could be anything. Like don't wear tennis shoes or something like that. And it'll make the 6 o'clock news because a man said that. A man dared to have standards. And I have always drawn attention to those stories because there's so many reactions to these things because it's a guy that's saying it. If a woman says that, she's allowed to throw down, on her Tinder, all of her sort of what Royce used to call the 436 bullet point checklist. Like she can be an overweight 40-year-old woman with 3 kids from 2 fathers and demand the world, bring me, rope me now, last through the moon and bring it down to me kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that's okay because she's worth it. Right.
Yeah.
But if a guy says, I want you to be feminine, I don't be fat, and, keep your hair long. Oh my God. Then the world is ending. And I think it's wrong to, and we'll get into this here when we open this up here, but I think it's wrong for us to look at this in sort of like a red meat sense, because it's real easy to get all up in arms and to feel indignant about the whole thing. Oh, that's a double standard. That's a double standard. And it's like, yeah, it is a double standard. Why is it a double standard? Why are we like feel indignant about this in the first place. Why is it that guys can't have any standards? Well, the reason for that is because we prioritize women's needs well before men's needs. And that's like in a social sense, that's in a personal sense, that's in a psychological sense. It's always her needs come first. She's got to get off first. She's got to be satisfied first. It's like, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? Happy wife, happy life, right? That's an ultimatum. That's not, by the way, that's not folk wisdom anymore. That's now an ultimatum. So,
and I made a video on TikTok that went viral on there as well, where I said you need to treat women as expendable commodities. And the thing is that, once again, as we always say, right, feels before reals. They don't like the fact that I use the term expendable commodities. But let's keep it real. A lot of guys here in the chat room know this from dating in the modern day age. Women treat men like expendable commodities. The reason why, and I say this all the time, the red pill is going to spread like wildfire in the next 5 to 10 years is because as social media gets bigger and bigger, online dating becomes bigger and bigger, and the globalized sexual marketplace becomes more and more prominent, and the world becomes smaller. A smaller group of men are going to get sexual access to women. This is going to cause frustration from the men. And then they're going to go looking for answers. And then they're going to find you, me, John from My Life Dating, Troy, Richard Cooper, etc. And the thing is that what I'm telling guys right now to date like women. You think like a man, but you date like a woman. Because the way women date, which they never want you to know, is they treat men like expendable commodities. They flake on you. They leave you on scene. They leave you on red. They don't respond to your messages. Like women, I say this all the time. Hot girls don't see like 95% of men. And on top of that, the 5% that they do have, they still disrespect them to some extent, where they're even flaking on these top tier guys. So all I'm saying on my TikTok was, hey guys, you need to date like women do, because they treat you like an expendable commodity. Now it's time to use their same tactics against them. But as we always say, women hate it when men have leverage or some kind of decided advantage when it comes to mate selection. They want to be able to hold all the cards when it comes to dating and everything like that. So when a guy like me comes around and says, nah, screw these chicks, you're going to do what you want to do, and you're going to treat them expendable just like they treat you. Oh my God, you're a misogynist. No, I'm just teaching guys to be outcome independent and exercise an abundance mindset, because in today's dating marketplace, I say it all the time, guys have an issue with working volume, and they're too outcome dependent on what these chicks say. And the way the dating landscape is for women is men are taught do what's right. Women are taught do what's right for you. I want guys to adopt that same mindset. Get out of this like chivalry mindset where you're going to like treat a girl well and be a gentleman. No, screw that. Feminism killed that. So now chivalry is a privilege, but they went when I said that,
Well, I think one of the reasons, and he gets really that part right here. We're gonna cover that because he really gets bent out of shape because of that. Like oh, commodity. I can't believe you called it a commodity. I can't believe there's a like there are still guys, by the way, who like if I use the term sexual marketplace or sexual market value, like, and there's women that feel the same way, but it's funny because it's mostly like blue pill guys that get really upset when I say that, because it seems like you're dehumanizing them, and it's like, well, yeah. It's because that's not what we are at this point. That's not where we're at. That's not what Tinder has done to the global sexual marketplace. That's not what online dating has done to the global sexual marketplace. That's not, I mean, like, remember when you were telling me like about how you kind of have to treat yourself as a brand, like you have to be, keep your Instagram. If you're on social media, you are your own brand right now. And that's how women are going to vet you. That's how they're going to check, are you cool enough for me to be hanging out with? Are they going to go online and say, oh, we got to treat guys as if they're just, tissues, soft and disposable, right? Or do we have to teach them as if they're, deal with them as if they are disposable commodities? I don't know how many women will do that, but I know that there are women that do. And all you have to do is look at OnlyFans right now, and you can see exactly that's exactly how they treat the guys who think they have a chance with these girls, and they're making money hand over fist because of this. One guy goes up on TikTok and says, hey, treat women as if they are commodities, or use the same, model of the same approach that women do in the dating market. And they lose their minds, but they don't lose their minds when it's women, because women are wonderful, right? It's always this sort of, we talk about placing women on a pedestal, like, oh, but knock her off the pedestal. It's not just one woman to knock off the pedestal. It's womankind that needs to be knocked off the pedestal.
Let me say this real fast, Rollo. Like the thing for the people, because some people in your audience might not know, guys, I live in Miami, Florida, 30 years old. You know what I mean? I'm out here dating these girls. Like, I've dealt with some of the hottest girls that do OnlyFans, strippers, basically women that make money off of the way they look. And I'm here to tell everybody, the dating game has completely changed. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that guys were doing 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like that's not necessarily going to work now. That's why I tell every guy, you need to read the mystery method for the theory and the rational male, but you got to get out there and talk to girls, because at the end of the day, game is completely changed. And the thing is, I would say women are even more cutthroat now than ever before, because a girl that was like a 5 or a 6, right, living in like Idaho, well, she was subjected to just the men in her immediate area. Instagram, etc., like that, where women now have access to really high value guys that they can talk to directly via Instagram. It's changed the entire landscape. And I'm telling you guys, I've seen these very attractive women's Instagrams, their text message inbox, whatever. You guys want to take a huge RP? Look at a hot girl's phone, and you're going to see right there and then why women act the way they do in 2020. This is why they flake so much. This is why we got a flaking epidemic. This is why content like this is growing. It's growing because more and more guys are getting frustrated with women. So my combat to this, right, dating in the modern age, is the only way you're going to be able to compete with a woman's abundance of options is you're going to have to compete by working volume. I always say a woman's like men have to earn their abundance mindset, whereas girls just get it for existing. You know, if she has an Instagram, well, like the average girl's going to have 2, 3, 5,000 followers on Instagram without even trying. She'll post a picture of her food and get like hundreds of likes and sims commenting, whatever. But like a dude, if you got 10K followers, you actually have to bring some kind of value besides like pictures of your butt. You know what I'm saying? Right. But that's how the landscape has changed. And it like Instagram has completely changed it, where women now, like the average guy, he's going to have a tough time. You got to self-improve. There's no way around it, you know? So,
right. Women have an inherent value. You've heard me say this before. So, you know, men must become, women just are.
Facts.
So, and that also boils down to there are other sort of, I don't know, other terms, other concepts, let's just say, like say the concept of respect, the concept of like the differing gendered ideals or approaches of love. Respect is a good one, because a man has to earn respectability. He has to be somebody who merits respectability, whereas women are just supposed to be respected out of hand, regardless of what they've done, regardless of what they, in fact, we're not even supposed to be judgmental of women. That's the pride. That's the cardinal sin of emotionalism. That's the cardinal sin for the age of emotion. If you're judgmental, if you have anything to say about that, well, then there's something wrong with you. It's a character flaw for you to actually have standards by which you will stick to, and things and boundaries and things that you will do and you will not do. And if you vocalize those things, well, you always, as a guy, you always run the risk of becoming the insecure guy, the insecure male, right?
Yeah. And my thing is this, like I know some guys, you know, they go MGTOW, they, you know, in reaction to the marketplace, it's skewed in a woman's favor. Let's keep it real. Some guys go MGTOW, some guys leave the dating market altogether. Me, I say, you know what? I'm gonna play the game, but I understand that the rules have changed. You know what I'm saying? And right. Being unaware of these truths of how women really deal with men nowadays is why so many guys end up frustrated, angry, whatever. But when you understand that, you're like, okay, I got 2 options. I can just leave the marketplace, which I'm not going to knock any guys that leave the marketplace. I get it. You know, I'm here in Miami, hypergamy's on steroids here. I get it. But I'm choosing to play the game. But knowing that I'm playing the game, I know that there's certain rules that need to be adhered to be successful in today's sexual marketplace. Not 1985, not 1990, not even 2000 when Mystery was running around with top hats. I'm talking about 2020 and beyond. And quite frankly, I hate to say it, if you want to maximize your options, you have to have a digital footprint to some degree, which is what you were saying before about having an image or a brand, because it is very true. And I've heard you say this before, Rollo, too. Like women are basically casting directors. Do you match the look that she's looking for, you know, at that time, you know, and you know, and women can afford to be more selective now. So that's why I tell guys all the time, instead of like worrying about women, just become high value and let the girls be a byproduct of you becoming high value. Because no matter what, whether they come to you or not, you're still winning. You're getting your money up. You're getting in good shape. You're taking care of yourself. Look good, feel good, right? So, but yeah, I mean, there's no way around it. You know, the days of making $30,000, $40,000 a year, having a Kia Sophia, good insurance policy, all that, like, nah, man, because girls earn their own money now. They're incentivized to push marriage back. They're encouraged to be promiscuous in their young years. And they're encouraged to go off of what I call a highest bidder win system. So the way girls date nowadays is like, they're like, hey, they set a date with you on Monday, but some dude hits them up on Instagram, blue check, hey, I'll fly you down to LA. You want to come hang out? Oh, sure. This guy has clout. Bam. She's going to go with him and flake on you. And that's where a lot of guys end up getting frustrated. But when you understand the game and know that, you know, women have far more options than you do, and, you know, don't get mad about it, I think it makes guys, a lot of the pain that guys suffer from with women is not understanding. So, I like to tell guys the truth, but obviously just like this guy tries to shame me for it.
Well, okay, so, and we'll get started here in just a second. I wanted to point out also that I think right now in the sexual marketplace, and you're 100% correct. I think certainly going forward into this decade here, people are still people. Human beings are still human beings. We're still going to be hypergamous. We're still going to default to sort of our evolved imperatives, our evolved instincts. But the way we contextualize that, the way that we can facilitate ourselves and make ourselves, put ourselves into the sexual marketplace. I mean, this sexual marketplace that we're in right now is one of many that have existed prior to where we're at right now in a local sense and in a global sense. So what we're looking at, I think, right now is sort of this conflict between this old order way of thinking, which is really the blue pill. And you're going to see his old order way. I'm going to point out a few things that he says here that are very, very old school. And there's still guys who are very much stuck in this because they think that identifying with the feminine is going to get them in there. They think identifying with the female psyche, identifying with gynocentrism, whatever you want to call it, is going to, in the long run, help them go from single and sexless to being in a relationship to having kids to forming a family. I mean, that's the ultimate end of this whole thing, right? So when you have this old order way of thinking and you take it and you put it against what the sexual marketplace has become contextually now today, it doesn't work anymore. It's old order. You need to find ways to update, like it's evolve or die kind of thing. And I think one of the things that rubs the people who give you grief about like the TikTok videos, even in the Twitter, I saw the Twitter threads and everything else, and you'll see it here in this guy's video, is it's a conflict between being pragmatic and being emotional, and what should be good and what should work and what feels like it should work and what feels good. And if you don't do this, and if you don't play by women's rules, then you're going to be lonely and sad, and you're going to die alone in a hospital somewhere, right? You're going to be this lonely old man, or you're bitter, you're misogynist, whatever, you're insecure, doesn't matter, because that doesn't feel good. Because your pragmatism doesn't feel good, because your rationality about analyzing the situation and trying to adapt to that situation, that doesn't feel good to people who've been conditioned to feel. That's the primary thing, is just to feel emotions, to make decisions based on emotions rather than on rationality. And that's the whole conflict between this dude and between what you were putting out there. So I'm going to put this there. Let me get to this real quick. What'd you say? Do you think the red pill knowledge will truly go mainstream, as Myron suggested? What would look like affect things, and what time scale? Happy New Year. Thanks. I see things changing. I know we've said this for a long time. Like I can remember back in like 2012, 2014, when everybody said, like even Roosh was saying, oh yeah, the red pill is going to go mainstream. We're going to, mainstream media is going to wake up to what we're talking about here. And it never really materialized, because what happens is there's too many people that come into it and try to put their spin on the red pill. And so red pill ends up becoming this sort of like really meaningless term and this meaningless brand, because it means whatever anybody wants it to. However, I will say this, is I think Myron's right, in the sense that you're seeing these guys finally waking up. And the reason that they're waking up is not because they're going, oh, these guys are right, here's something new. Oh, let's all talk about this new truth that we're all becoming, you can't ignore this anymore. So now we're going to talk about it. We're either going to throw rocks at these guys or we're going to agree with these guys. But the reason why they're suddenly coming back to this is because it's the new hotness. And I saw this happen right after the 2016 elections. Everybody's coming back to it because it seems like red meat. It seems like clickbait. You want to know why Myron's videos and everything went viral? That's why. Because they're looking for a new distraction, and this seems like it's outrageous. And it's not outrageous even in the slightest. And I should say this, Myron, I don't know if you saw the comments on this video, but a lot of guys are backing you up. A lot of guys in this video are backing you up. And so I will, just to answer that question real quick before I start this up, I think that it will go mainstream, but I think we need to be cautiously optimistic about it going mainstream at this point. I don't think the red pill will ever be 100% mainstream, because as soon as it does, that's when it gets watered down, and that's when it goes purple pill. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen at least it's gone through 3 phases or 3 cycles since I started writing about stuff back in 2002. How old do you think this guy is?
He's about my age, man. He's an I'm 30 years old. I'm 30 years old. I think he's like in his mid to late 20s. He's right around my age group. Because like this guy, let me give you guys a quick background on who this dude is. This guy makes content criticizing fitness influencers. This guy, he used to be a guy that used to go to the gym, train. If you look at all his videos, he pretty much, is he natty or not? He talks about fitness influencers that I'm very familiar with because I'm in the fitness industry myself. And that's clickbait. In the fitness industry nowadays, you're going to get way more clicks from like criticizing other fitness influencers, asking if they're natty or not, because a lot of guys have this crazy ideology like, I gotta know if he's natural or not. Can I attain this? So it started with that, and then now he just critiques anyone that's popular on social media. He critiques Joe Rogan. He makes fun of David Goggins, everyone, if you look at his channel. So this guy's a failed bodybuilder, and now he's a comedian / satire guy. And yeah, man, that's how he got famous. That's how he got all his clout. So yeah, that's kind of the background who this guy is. But he's in his mid to late 20s. He's around my age.
You think so? Yeah, a lot of guys are saying mid to late 20s, and that's where I've had him pegged. I thought maybe he's maybe 25. The reason why I wanted to throw that out there is because, so this guy is somebody who I would say, at least age demographically right now, is in Generation Z, or at least the sort of the leading edge of Generation Z. And all of the stuff that I'm listening to this guy sort of like tumble out of his mouth is the same blue pill crap I have been hearing since the late 80s. Okay, so this is not like the stuff that you have to remember, that this stuff keeps getting recycled. The blue pill keeps getting recycled. The ideology, whatever you want to call it, the emotionalism, the teaching, do these things. Again, I call it a conditioning for a reason, because it's been around really since the sexual revolution. But a lot of the things that he comes up with, and a lot of the words and the terms he's even using in this, come from the 1980s, come from the late 70s, the 1980s, the 1990s. And it's feel good, emotionally kind of, we're all got to talk about our feelings and vulnerability and all this other crap, right? This dude is 25 years old. I was listening to the same stuff when I was 25 years old. So that's how long this has been going on. Just to give you guys a little bit of let's see, clarity on this. So I'm going to play this from the beginning. I'll stop it halfway through. I want to get your Myron. The whole reason I wanted you on today was I wanted to sort of get your take on not necessarily what he's saying, but to sort of explain why you said what you said in the TikTok videos. So let me click on this.
Do you need to process a large number of video files?
This dude has like about a billion.
Watch the next episode of.
This guy has like a million freaking ads in his.
And here's the thing too. That's another reason why he went so hard on me, guys. If you don't know, this guy is sponsored. Like, you see, the video opens up with a promotion.
Go ahead. What you're saying? Yeah, it's sponsored by Honey, and then he's got another sponsored video that's in the end part of this as well.
That's something that guys should take into account, is that this guy is sponsored, so he's gonna lean on the politically correct side. You know what I mean? And here's the thing too, for guys that don't know, this dude's in a long-term relationship. So
yeah. Is he married? Some guys in the chat were saying he was married.
I don't know if he's married. He has a serious girlfriend though that lives with him. He cohabits.
A lot of guys are saying that, like the dudes that know him said like his girlfriend like sort of runs the show for him. But let's get into this real quick here.
Don't take girls on dinner dates for the first date. Okay, let's see this incel hot take real quick.
Okay, guys, this is why you don't want to take girls out on dinner dates for the first date. The reason why is because more than likely, especially if you take her somewhere nice, you're going to invest a substantial amount of money. And if you don't like the girl, you're going to have to sit there, wait for the check to come, etc.
What? Like, that's my only reaction I have.
So you always want to take a girl out on a date, either for drinks, coffee, something low investment where you can see if you even like her in the first place.
Yeah, this man has a point. I mean, why are you going to spend $18 on her chicken marsala when you can take her to McDonald's and make her pay for your 6-piece Happy Meal? This man's a fucking genius.
Before you start investing that kind of time or money into a girl. And here's the other problem. When you invest money into a girl in the beginning before she even knows you, she's going to lose respect for you.
All right. So he's like dumbfounded by this whole thing, right? So So let's start with that little piece right there. Now I want you to explain. I'm just gonna try to like, I don't know, sort of I'm going to be the subcontractor here for a minute, but with explaining this. But I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I agree with what you're saying in this. I would only say that there's a little bit more to it than what you're putting forth in that video. He doesn't get it because well, first of all, he's blue pill, but he doesn't get it because it seems like you'll notice that he jumps to binary extremes. Like it's always, oh, you don't want to buy her chicken marsala, you want to get her a Happy Meal. Well, that's not what you're saying. So what were you saying in that?
Yeah, and the thing, obviously, guys, like he's obviously trying to be funny, so he's gonna like exaggerate things a bit, and because the guy's a comedian, that's what he does.
I do the same thing too. So yeah.
I get where he's going, but the premise, where he's messing up is that he doesn't understand the importance of minimizing your investment with women, especially early on. And the reason why is because, so this is why I said this. Women have men in compartmentalized roles in their life. Any girl that's halfway attractive is going to have a guy that's like taking her out on dates, another dude giving her free attention, another guy just liking all her posts, another guy that might get her food every now and then, a foodie date. Like the most attractive women have dudes in roles. So your goal as a guy is you want to make sure that you're not put into one of these roles where she can extract a resource from you without you getting the romance that you're looking for. The problem is that most guys don't understand this fundamental core ideology that no attention is free. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. Because the thing is that girls live in a world, I always say like men live in a fact-based reality, women live in like a bizarro world because women aren't really held accountable for their actions nowadays. Guys are though. So since girls live in this bizarre world, a lot of them feel entitled to just extracting resources from you. And the quickest way that you're going to make a chick respect you is by, number one, minimizing your effort in the beginning, especially from a money standpoint, taking her out, and then letting her earn it. But the thing is that, again, this goes to show that Philion hasn't dated in a long time because any guy, even the most blue pill dude, is going to know on a first date, you don't take her to a movie, you don't invest a lot of money on her in a dinner date, etc. Because there is literally a culture that incentivizes women to fleece guys for free dinner dates and experiences without them giving up sex. Women are literally taught how to do this, and it's encouraged in today's society. So the one way to protect yourself against this as a man is minimize your investment from the beginning so she can't finesse you. But obviously, Philion taking the blue pill, right? Oh, no, bro, it's not that expensive. Blah, blah, blah. Bro, if you date, let's say 10 girls a month, right? And you're spending $20 on each. You guys can do the math, how much money you're going to lose on a girl. And then on top of that, when you take a girl on a dinner date on the first date, if you don't know what you're doing, that's drastically going to lower your ability to get a first night late. So everything here is systematic as to why you need to minimize your investment in the beginning. And on top of that, the girl's going to feel like, oh, I got to earn this guy's investment. He's not like everybody else. He must be higher value if he doesn't really care about the outcome like that. Because as soon as you don't care about an outcome with a girl, it immediately puts you head and shoulders above other dudes. But again, this is obviously, I don't have all this time to explain that on TikTok, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. How long is a TikTok video? It's like 3 minutes, right?
Not
So,
even.
not even that. Yeah.
60 seconds is the most. So I just kept them size.
It's like a Vine, man, only different. Remember when Vines were something? So I'm gonna subcontract on this a little bit too. So let me explain. Like, you know how we were talking about how like I was gonna do the theory and you do the practice. Here we go. Okay. So there was an old school concept, and since I know that you have read Mystery or you have at least some sort of background in some of the old school PUA stuff, there was this old school concept of what was called safe dates. And a safe date was like, let's go get coffee, or let's go get brunch, or let's go get some food. And that's usually what most guys who are blue pill conditioned think of when they want to say, hey, I'm going to ask this girl out. Let's go to Olive Garden, right? Or let's go to wherever, Chili's, right? I don't know, whatever the hell it is now, right? Applebee's, right? Because it's a safe environment, because the preconception is that You got to make her feel comfortable. You got to make her feel like, oh, like you're going to really want to get to know her, and you're really good. You're a real deal, and you're the real guy, and you're the dude that's gonna, you know, sort of come in and be the perfect beta male. You're going to be the perfect guy who's going to be the provider, because that's where providers go. They don't go to the club. They don't go to, let's go have a drink. They don't say, hey, I'll meet you at 10 o'clock after I get off of work. Let's go meet at this bar and grill, and I'll buy a drink, or you buy me a drink, kind of thing. It's not about that. It's a safe date. And so when it comes to paying, like, because he's gonna get into this in just a second when you talk about paying for dates, and you talk about you know, don't overinvest in a woman. Like, I remember was it Tom Likas used to say $40 max. Do not spend more than $40 on a date, drinks, food, whatever else. The other part is this: is that if a woman is that into the food, you're not getting laid. Because if a woman is eating like a steak and lobster, or she had this big greasy cheeseburger, or she wants a big old burrito, or whatever it is, if a woman is eating salad with you, you might get laid. If a woman is eating a big, you know, freaking, you know, double or whatever, you're not getting laid. And Tom used to say this, is that it's because no woman wants to have sex when she has onions and garlic and all this other crap that's on her breath, right? You think about how much energy and effort women put into looking cute and putting up, you know, wearing this and putting on makeup and everything else. And you think for a second that she's going to want to have sex with you. She's interested in you for anything other than just sort of like this platonic, take me out on a date, let's go get some free food. It's like a foodie call. I mean, you know what a foodie call is. I think a lot of people, there's all kind. Go look it up, foodie call on Google right now. And it's so the point is this: is it's not about the money, it's about the investment. It's about the appearance of over investing in it. And I think Ryan Stone and I have talked about this before. Is that when you set into, like, when you do an approach, when you're doing a Sarge, whatever, when you're doing when you're working a girl, let's just say, it's that over investment. There's that threshold where it's like, you're more valuable than I am. I'm coming into your frame, or you're coming into my frame. And whenever you go, hey, let's go out on a date, I'm going to take you to this really nice room. I'm going to pay for your chicken marsala, right? If you're pay for her chicken marsala guy, you're not fuck me on the same night guy. If you're pay for my you know, Olive Garden, if you're the guy who says, hey, I want to take you out on a date, and our first date is going to be we're going to go to this restaurant or whatever. If you're that dude, first of all, you're probably not getting laid that night, and second of all, she's already put you into provider mode. You're already in the beta. You're the 3 Ps: protection, provider, and parental investment. You're good dad material. You're not, I want to tear your clothes off and fuck your brains out material. Here's the guys who are not doing safe dates, the guys, and this goes way back to early 2000s, the guys who are not doing safe dates, those guys are like, I'll meet you for drinks after I get off of work. I'll at 10 o'clock at O'Houlihan's or whatever, wherever you're going, right, to have martinis or some shit like that. Talking over a date with alcohol, a date with like, we're going to go out for drinks, it's a completely different frame than going out and saying, I'm going to go take you to dinner, or let's go have coffee, or let's go meet at Barnes and Noble, right? I mean, that's a different vibe. That's like R-rated vibe versus PG-rated vibe or G-rated vibe. And too many guys default to that. And that's exactly where this guy's headspace is at, because everything this guy says throughout this video is based in a transactional understanding of the dating market. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say the other reason too, why it's like literally counterproductive to spend a lot of money on girls in the beginning, is because this was going to happen. When you spend money on a girl in the beginning without her earning it, what she's going to do is she's going to start to leverage sex against you for more compliance. So like, when you spend money in the front end, she's going to know the fact that this guy's spending money on me like this and I haven't earned anything tells me that he's probably lower value and he doesn't get a lot of girls. So let me squeeze out every single drop of attention, money, dates, and resources I can get. Because I always say, what the biggest fundamental difference between a simp and a guy that understands women is that guys that understand women know that if they give out free attention, it's their deathbed. It's over. She's not going to respect you. Simps don't understand that a woman's currency is attention. So you taking her out on multiple dates and giving her this attention, that is literally the equivalent to you smashing a chick, never hanging out with her, only bringing her for smashes and kicking her out and never taking her out on dates, never bringing her out in public, etc. Guys make the the awful mistake of thinking that it's okay to continue to give attention to a girl when they're not getting sex because she's going to enjoy sex as much as I do and she wants it just as much as I do. No, she doesn't. She values your attention more than anything. For example, if I get 1,000 followers right now that are all chicks and they comment on my pictures, right? Or or they like my pictures, whatever, but I'm not getting laid, that's a L. Who cares? I'm not getting laid. Women, however, she gets 1,000 male followers. They all like and comment. You're so beautiful, smiles, all this. That's like an orgasm to a chick. That's the biggest problem that simps don't understand is that your only real weapon in the sexual marketplace, especially in today's day and age, where attention is abundant, is attention, because you got all these other idiots giving out for free. The only way you're going to put respect on yourself is to not give that attention. So as soon as you spend money up front on a girl, she's going to say, okay, I'm riding this thing till the wheels fall off, and I'm going to leverage pussy as long as I can. And then by the 5th, 6th date, when she knows that you're going to be trying to get laid, that's when she's going to ghost you. That happens to so many guys, you know what I mean? And then here's the other problem. Guys make the awful mistake of thinking women are like money. And what I mean by this is, as men, young and old, we're taught, hey, the more time you invest in something, the more hard work you put towards it. They have this equity with like relationship equity, this ideology that if I invest time and money into this girl, it's going to pay me back dividends, just like my stock market, my Bitcoin, whatever. No, guys. Women is the one thing in life as a man that the more you invest in it, the more you're going to lose. And you need to keep your investment minimal until she earns it. But a lot of guys think, if I just invest more time and I buy her this ring and do exactly what she says and blah, 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 I'm investing, she's going to love me. No, man. If anything, she's going to lose more respect for you because you're fighting so hard to keep her. I always say it. The relationship works when she's chasing your validation, never the other way around. You know what I mean? So
I would love to hear, and he's going to get to the commodity thing here later on, but I would love to hear his take on Aaron Clary's book, The Book of Numbers, which is like nothing but like nuts and bolts, like smash you in the face, like statistical analysis of like the sexual marketplace and the return on investment kind of thing. It would blow me away to see what his reaction. He probably would self-destruct. This guy's and some other guys in the chat were asking this, like, where do you take a girl who has quit drinking alcohol due to her real, or if you don't drink alcohol or whatever? And again, it's not the alcohol. Okay. It's not like, oh, we're going to go, I'm throwing that out there because I'm in the liquor business, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be, I'm not the safe guy. I'm like go to like take her rock climbing, right? Take her on kayaking. I don't know, whatever, something that is not like, it's something that you have an interest in. Like she's coming along for the ride. She's there to come into your world. Insist on frame from the beginning, because what happens is when you say, I'm Applebee's guy, right? I'm whatever guy that I'm going to pay for your chicken marsala guy, right? If you're that guy, you've already from the beginning cast yourself as the guy who is, I'm the guy who thinks that you need to be comfortable before you'll have sex with me. I don't get it. I'm the guy who's like saying, oh, I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't figured things out. Women are this mysterious mystery of the world for me. And so I'm just going to do what I think is, the blue pill has taught me is the right thing to do. And it's exactly what he's talking about in this video, but you're setting that frame from the beginning. So do you have to go like down and have a drink at 10 o'clock after or whatever? No, you don't have to do that, but you can go places. There are other places that don't have anything to do with eating, or you can also, again, I'm going to throw Lycus out there. You can get a gauge of what that girl is that girl into you by what she's going to order. Like Tom used to say, like if she orders a salad, that's different than she orders like a big, personal pan pizza or something like that.
So, like you need to, instead of saying, oh, she doesn't want to drink, you need to be like, bro, like if a girl doesn't drink and she's young and she used to drink in the past, that's a huge flag that she went through some kind of issue before, where if she's not like a bodybuilder or an athlete or like has like a legit reason why she never drinks, and she used to drink in the past, more than likely she was partying like crazy, got involved with some bad things, and now she's a recovering, former alcoholic, whatever it may be. So automatically, you already know that chick belongs to the streets. You ain't going to take her serious. Now, as far as like taking her to a date, man, I wouldn't even take her rock climbing or anything that I actually want to do. I would take her out and we'd meet for either a coffee, or I'd still meet her at the bar at nighttime just to create that sexual vibe. And I'll get like one drink and she could get a soda or whatever. But Like girls like that, like you definitely like almost every girl that I've ever met that's attractive, used to drink in the past, that quit drinking, it typically had some kind of problem in the back end
effect in her life. Yeah.
Yeah, caused her like some crazy traumatic situation where she might have been assaulted. She was in a rehab or something like that. So you automatically know off rip, like, okay, something's off here. So that's too for guys out here. Like if a girl says, I don't drink, like, bro, put those red lenses on and think to yourself, why? You know, especially when most girls nowadays do drink and party. Like drinking wine is like what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, let me keep going here.
Yeah.
How? Why? How is she going to lose respect for you when you pay for dinner? What? Yo, the top comment, if you're broke, just say that.
And what's going to happen is she's going to realize that you're a mark and that she's going to leverage sex against you.
That you're Mark and that she's going to leverage sex against you. What?
And what's going to happen is she's going to realize that you're a mark and that she's going to leverage sex against you. And by the time the third or fourth date comes around.
What is this man saying? Wait, hold up. So that video right there was don't take girls on dinner dates for the first date. The next video, men, you must pay on the date. Okay, so let me get this straight. Take her on dinner dates, but not for the first time. And when you do take her on dinner dates,
if you want to know more about
all right, I'm gonna mute this dude for a second. You could talk about that for a second. So why he's trying to point out like there's some sort of conflict in those two. Like if you are on a date with her, that you shouldn't be actually paying for the actual date.
Yeah. See, and again, this is guys just taking it out of context and like reading. I mean, obviously he's making a satire video, so he's gonna chop it up.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't get it that like on the first date, you never take on a dinner date and you don't invest. After you sleep with her, then that's when you can start treating her well. Because that, and when I say treating her well, I mean as in like start like what this is when she starts to actually get like date experiences with you, going to the movies, going to dinner. You know, then she could start. Because the thing is that I always say a girl ain't gonna take you serious and start investing in you until she sleeps with you at bare minimum. You know, there's some girls that'll sleep with you and not even care and they'll move on, which, you know, you already know what time that is. You already know she
belongs to the streets,
which is fine. Let her go back to the streets. But like if a chick, like once she invests, once a girl has sex with you, that's pretty much one of the main ways that women invest. So you don't invest until she invests first. You know what I mean? And that is by, you know, giving up the booty. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, so there's you're coming at this from like a post first date thing. So if you're going to say, well, you shouldn't pay for the date, or you should or you shouldn't. Now here's again the idea, and he's going to talk about this here as well. Is the idea is, are you trying to be real? Like, are you playing games with her? Like, his whole thing is based, like I said, on transaction, but it's also on manipulation. Is game manipulation? You're just playing games with her. I can remember when I did a breakdown of a few of Royce's 16 Commandments of Poon, and one of those was the 2/3 rule, which is like if she gives you like 3 kisses, you give her 2, right? If she does 3 things for you, you do 2. And it's like, so you're not over investing, so that it's not a balance. It's she's the ratio, the sexual, like the idea that you are somebody that she is coming to, or you're the primary in that relationship. That's the thing that keeps, it's not don't, reciprocate things. It's that you're doing it less than she is doing, because what that is it's this constant qualification to the guy rather than the other way around. And when you are stuck in this blue pill old order way of thinking, it is always she's the one that I have to qualify to. It's always, if I did that, I would screw things up. If I did that, I might blow it with the best thing in my life, right? I would be throwing the baby out with the bathwater if I did those things. Guys, when you get into those situations, like guys who have that mentality, who grow up with that from the time they're like, 5, 10, 12 years old, all the way up until they're like in their 40s and 50s and 60s, the guys who never really learn that lesson, that they're always qualifying, they don't understand that that's the thing, that's where it comes from. It comes from this idea that you have to constantly be the one that's qualifying because she has the pussy, right? She's the one whose approval you are always trying to get, and that is straight out of the blue pill, straight out of I got to make her feel comfortable. I got to take care of her needs, kind of thing. And again, when you start that way, you again, the relation, assuming you go into a relationship, if you, that's what you choose, but going into that relationship, you're going to carry that frame that you had prior to the relationship into that relationship. And that's where guys, they just don't understand. So when their wives leave them, or they're 45 and they don't know what to do, they're suicidal because their wives are gone and they took the kids or whatever, or maybe they're in gray divorce or something else. Their first thing guys would tell me when I was doing peer counseling of that age was like, if she just tell me what she wanted me to do, I would do it and she would love me. And that's why they go to marriage counseling. And it's why it's the source of all this bullshit that comes afterwards. And it's all because you started from a frame of being the good dad, of being the reliable dude. Like that's your game. It's beta game basically, but it's like, you're going to identify with her. And while you're identifying with her, like that's going to be your attraction point. You're also going to be selling her on the idea that you're going to be the dude that's going to be, I'm going to be there for you, baby. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you some vulnerability. I'm going to be emotional. I'm going to, I'll be emotionally available to you, and all this other bullshit that goes along with that. When you get to a point where that isn't a selling point anymore because you're already in the relationship, that's where it starts, because that's the only frame of reference that you have. This guy's only frame of reference is blue pill and it's transactions. Let me throw this up there real quick. I've seen videos from Philion. He usually puts together strong arguments. All he can do here is screech, what? Yep, exactly. And what is this? Philion will be back here after this one fleeces him. Yeah, his one fleeces him of half of his YouTube money. Guys learn the hard way. Yeah, he probably most likely will learn the hard way. Let me unless you have something else you want to put out, I'm gonna.
Another thing too, not only is he inexperienced with women because he was in LTR, is like this guy has social media clout. So like he doesn't understand the experience that normal guys deal with in a sexual marketplace today. So he's coming at this from, how do I say this? Like he has zero sympathy for like the average guy because he's never been it. You know what I mean?
Any frame of reference. Yeah. He's never been in this like if he's 25 and he's talking like this, and from what I understand, he's only been with this one girl, or he's married or whatever. It's very similar to like when people like criticize me for criticizing Jordan Peterson. I say, well, he's only ever been with the one girl. Like that's his soulmate. That's his whole, high school sweetheart fairy tale. And I'm like, well, he's probably not the best guy to get like, relationship and dating advice from, because he doesn't have any frame of reference. Yeah.
And here's the kind of the problem when it comes to like dealing with women. Every guy thinks they know how to deal with women, and like they'll think, oh, I got a late count of 5. Yes. You know what I mean? I got a late count of 5. I know how to deal with women, bro. Like you're a misogynist. I know how to deal with women properly. And it's like, nah, bro. The dudes that are the best with women, that get the highest notch counts, understand these unflattering realities about female nature. So like when guys like him say these like arguments about, oh, what, blah blah blah, like I could tell immediately that he's not experienced with women, because the guys that are good with women all have universal traits. So it's very easy for me to detect a guy that's good with women versus a guy that's bad with women, because guys that are good with women exhibit these like universal traits of like not caring about what women think, being in a leadership position, being dominant, never deferring to a woman's authority. Like these are basic fundamentals of any guy that's good with women. You look back at pimps, right? And it's new, like, these guys were taking it to another level because they were monetizing these women. But what did they do? They understood that women, when left to their own devices, don't really know what they're doing when it comes to like making money and all this other stuff. So they would manage them and exploit them to get money using cognitive tricks and manipulation tactics to get these women. So anyone that's good with women and has a high notch count is going to understand these universal truths. But guys that are terrible with women, they're very easy to detect, like guys like Philion, because they're going to give advice that is actually counterproductive to being attractive to women. And blue pill guys and women are the worst people to ask when it comes to attracting women. I look at female dating coaches and they're all trash. All of them are trash because they're going to tell you general stuff. Be confident. Hey, stand up for yourself, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to tell you the how. They're just going to kind of tell you the what, because no female coach is going to sit there and tell you women are hypergamous. You need to lead them on scene. Hey, you need to be spinning a lot of plates. Flake on her every now and then. You need to treat her as expendable. No female coach would ever say that because, let's keep it real. Women are hive-minded creatures, so they're not going to be able to take the backlash like a man will. You know what I mean? Women want to always be accepted by the group. to include female dating coaches. So they will sit there and give you fairy tales about what it takes to be attractive, to be accepted by society. You know what I mean? They don't have the skin for it to get attacked and become controversial and have people commenting a million times on your TikTok like, you're a misogynist, blah, blah, blah. So it's incentivized for them. They're incentivized to lie to you. And on top of that, if they don't help you, then they can keep charging you. So that's what it is.
All right, let me push this.
All right, guys, why you got to pay on the first date? So when you meet a girl,
So you do have to pay on the first date. What the fuck?
So when you meet a girl for the first time, the reason why you got to pay is because it's going to say a couple of things about you. Number one, it's going to show that you're decisive, you're a leader, and then number three, they have expendable income.
Okay, so if you got fat stacks coming out your pockets, you reach in there, you dig down deep, get your coins, slap it on the table, you're a fucking leader, buddy. You have expendable income. She's not going to have a choice at that point. She's going to fall in love with you. Holy shit. We got Mr. Monopoly over here, Mr. Moneybags. All you got to do is just pay on the first date. Bro, these comments are brutal. Saxo girl. Hey, show us your girlfriend that you got with these tips.
Whether girls want to admit it or not, if a girl has to pull out her own credit card and pay on a first date, she's going to be repulsed by you, okay?
That's actually not true. They're not going to be repulsed. Some girls just don't want to feel like they owe you something after you paying for their food, especially when they don't really know you. It's a nice gesture to offer to pay for dinner. But if the girl that you just met is super uncomfortable with you just clearing the tab like that, then don't do it.
Because it shows a lack of security.
All right, let's jump in on that one real quick there too, because a lot of guys will ask me this too. They'll say, "Well, who should pay on the first date? Should you go Dutch, right? Should you, or is it bad form, or even like expecting it?" And I am of the opinion, I agree with you, but I probably agree with you for a different reason than what you're going to say. So like explain what your thinking is. Can you elaborate on what you were talking about in the video right here?
Yeah. So you got to pay for the first date because when you pay for the first date, you pretty much control the pace of the date, where you go, how it's done, everything. So and the only way, if you want to get, because here's the thing, I close like 90% of my first dates with a lay. And the reason the way I do it is I pretty much have a systematic plan where I'm taking her to multiple spots. I'm close to my area or close to my apartment, etc. So I'm controlling everything. The way to dominate and control everything is you have to pay for everything. If she pays, then, she could kind of dictate things. And the thing is that if you want to get quick sex or you want to show that assertive dominant frame, you have to pay for it and control everything and tell her, hey, we're going here, we're going there. You can't let her do anything. I don't even let women walk in front of me, honestly. It's like that deliberate where I'm controlling everything, and paying allows you to say, all right, get up. We're going to go to the next spot. She's going to be more incentivized to follow you versus if you said, oh, let's go Dutch on this. She's like, what? And then the other thing too, is that we all know that. So there's Mystery talks about this in his book, attraction triggers that women look for. And one of the biggest ones is, having excess resources and being a leader of men, or being a leader in general. So you're able to knock out 2 attraction triggers when you pay and when you tell her where you're going to go next. This is exactly why I say on the first date, you can't invest a lot because you are going to have to pay. So that's why it's, but see, Philion is low IQ. He didn't understand that. I'm saying it's a 2-part equation, right? You got to pay, but at the same time, it better not be a dinner date or something expensive because you're putting yourself in the hole. So
I put on, so when guys ask me this question, I agree with you. I think that it is on a guy to pay for if you're going on a quote unquote date. Okay. I think the other part of this whole, one thing that we're not even talking about is who the hell dates anymore, right? When I'm looking at I just saw this morning somebody sent me something on Tinder about, or something, somebody sent me something on Twitter that was about Tinder. And it was about the sort of I guess it was conversion rate from Tinder to sex.
Yeah.
I think you probably saw that data too. So it's more women are comfortable with having sex off of Twitter than at any time in the last 10 years. Well, how long Twitter's been around? Not Twitter, Tinder's been around. Yeah. But if you look at what, when you look at women who are online, who want to get laid, they're going to go on Bumble, they're going to go on Tinder, they're going to find a way to do it. All right. And if they want to make you pay as an OnlyFans simp or a pay pig or whatever, or if you're going to be sugar daddy, that's okay. We don't make videos like that. We don't make videos talking shit about women when they are sugaring. We don't talk about women when they're in OnlyFans or they're sex workers or whatever else you want to call them. We don't talk about that. We'll run you up the flagpole or like you and other guys like you up the flagpole because you're being pragmatic about the whole thing. You're just basically trying to use the same methodology that women have been using on guys for a very long time. And you're bringing it up and making it in no uncertain terms, and people will throw you under the bus for it because you're a guy that's doing it, because guys are supposed to be ignorant and stupid of the whole situation. So, go ahead.
No. I mean, all I was going to say was like the reason why they want you to be ignorant and stupid of it is because I've always said it. If more guys acted like this and were aware of these uncomfortable truths, they want to spend money on these chicks and the economy will crash because 80% of the consumer base is female. And then if you talk about married couples, women make like 90% of the financial decisions.
Women control 90% of the wealth in Western countries. That was actually a stat I put in book 4. So, and I dug that up. Women control 90% of the wealth. Doesn't necessarily mean they make that money, but they do control that, and particularly when it comes to their families and when it comes to themselves. So go ahead.
And guys make money when they do spend it, it's typically to impress or like something for a woman. So like the economy literally relies on like guys spending money on women. So anything that is like taught to basically have guys not spend money on women that haven't earned it is going to be demonized. For example, Twitch, perfect example. They banned the word simp, incel, virgin, etc. Why? Because the girls that make a lot of money on Twitch, right, playing with their boobs or whatever, half these chicks suck. I used to play video games for money. These chicks are terrible. They're not good. But they're attractive and they're playing a game that guys like to see. So these girls are running up the donations, right? Making a lot of money. So guys go in the chat, yo, stop sipping on these chicks. If enough guys do that and guys wake up, the guys are going to spend money on these women. And who takes a hit on that? Not just the girl, but Twitch, because Twitch gets an amount on each guy that donates. And Twitch isn't stupid. They understand that their audience is horny young guys, and a lot of them are watching these chicks that suck at video games. So if these guys call them simps, and they get shamed for spending money, they're like, whoa, this is going to directly affect our ability to become lucrative. Banning this word. Nope. Simp, incel, no. So we could see that. And another thing, I made a TikTok video on another account, which we're going to delete because it's pretty much shadow banned, where I said specifically, don't take a girl out to an expensive dinner date like here. And this is why. That video got taken off TikTok like within a couple of hours, and we didn't swear, we didn't say any trigger words, nothing. But it goes to show that there is 1,000% an agenda to keep guys stupid so they can spend more money, etc. I mean, when you got Gillette out here making commercials, destroying their own end user product end user so that they can appeal to women, that's when you know women truly control the financial markets, because Gillette knows women are the ones buying the razors for their husbands, even though the men use the razors. So hopefully, thank God enough guys woke up and said, hey, you know what? Don't buy me any more Gillette razors. And they lost money. So thank God for that. But that goes to show how brazen these businesses are and companies to keeping you stupid as to your worth, because they know a guy that is single that understands female nature is a danger to the economy, because you ain't going to spend no money on these chicks.
I got that. Let me catch up here real quick. It says, from your experience, how long does it take to unlearn blue pill conditioning? I started practicing plate spinning, but I keep getting to situations where I regress to my blue pill behaviors, especially with hot young women. I would suggest this. Go read the 16 Commandments of Poon by Royce. You can dig it up on heartiste.org right now. I think that if her beauty is still sort of something that is impressive to you, that you think it is some sort of factor in influencing your decisions to regress to a blue pill thing, the reason why guys do that, particularly with really hot women, is because it's FOMO, fear of missing out, right? It's fear of, if I don't want to screw this up. I want her to like me. She's the hottest thing I've ever had, and I don't want this to. And as soon as you do that, like, most guys are afraid to experiment. Like I was saying before, once guys get into a relationship, when they get into a marriage, if you go into that marriage from the good dad perspective, from the beta provider's perspective, if you go into it, I'm not saying like you have to be an asshole or anything like that. What I'm saying is that when you go, what you go into it with is what is going to define or set the tone for your relationship later on. And this is part of that. If you are afraid to lose that girl because she's the hottest thing you've ever had, and this is like, I know guys who have killed themselves. Like literally, I can't live without her. Why? Well, I'll never get anything better. I'll never find any that you want to talk about scarcity mentality. That's part of that as well. But it's this idea that it's this, I want to say it's a subconscious as well as a conscious acknowledgement that she is of a higher degree than you, that you will do anything for her. And what guys will do then is they'll go, well, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what men are supposed to do. That's how we show that we're really in love. This guy right here, as a matter of fact, Philion, that's what we have to do. We got to make her feel comfortable. We got to do this. We can't make her think that we feel like we're owed sex. And I want to talk about that in a minute too. But when it comes to unlearning the blue pill, again, the first part of that is mental point of origin. You have to be the most important thing in your life. You have to be the one that when something comes into your decision-making process, you have to be the one that you say, how is this going to affect me? And what do I really want to do? Rather than how's this going to affect my wife? How's it going to affect mom? How's it going to affect my kids? How's it going to affect my family? How's it going to affect you are the one that you say, well, how's this going to affect me? When you get to that point and you didn't like have to stop and think about it, and you were just the first thing that popped into your head, then you've got mental point of origin. It's not just, oh, you need to be self-important and make yourself number one like Tony Robbins. Fuck that. You need to actually be the guy when it has to be something that is second nature. It has to be internalized. It has to be something that just pops in your head, like, because that's who you are. That's your personality. And it's not like be selfish and be a prick, because that's where your binary extremes are going to go. But it's like I said, it's enlightened self-interest. I can't help others until I can help myself. Well, when you are the first thing that pops into your head, and helping yourself is the first thing that pops into your head, then others are going to benefit from that because they're attached to your well-being and what you're doing. Great. That makes you a leader of men, a dominant guy, and a guy who's going to go and do things according to his own ambitions. And the people who are along for the ride, the people you care about, those people, they're going to be in a better position because of that. So get over this idea of scarcity. Get over this idea. Don't stop worrying about losing the best thing I ever had. That right there is a beta mindset, because it's, like I said, strategic pluralism theory. Guys who are low SMV guys, low sexual market value guys, have to, by necessity, invest themselves more so in one single woman rather than spread it out and spin plates. That's why when it's about spinning plates, it's like I'm talking Chinese, man. I'm talking Swahili, because they just don't have any like frame of reference or any kind of concept of like, well, if I do that, if I have more than one girl, then the other one will find out about the other and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you need to get to the point where you don't care, where you do. It's like, well, that'll be painful. Yeah. You have to not mind the pain. You have to be like, well, okay, I guess one dropped off, because I'm going to be the guy who's going to be the high value guy. I've decided that that's what I want to do, and that's how I want to live, and that's where I'm going to go. You have to make that choice. You have to change your mind about yourself first. That's the whole thing. So that's how you get out of that. Sorry, go ahead. What are you going to say?
No. That's 100%.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm preaching now. Sorry, my bad. You got me monologuing.
That's right, man. The theory and the practice. So this is great. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Like the video, guys. Like the video. And subscribe to my channel too, Fresh and Fit. Okay. So
to these here too. I love how triggered you have these people, Myron. Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of hard not to. And I think what's funny, and I said this in the beginning, like before you came on, is that I think there's like sort of this new generational difference. So when guys like this who are 25 years old, like when I was writing it on So Suave, and I was like doing like shit. I mean, when I was even doing writing my book, I mean, this guy was what, 15? You know, maybe like in 2002. How old was he? 8? You know,
I was 12 in 2002.
Yeah. So this stuff has been around for a long time, but it's shocking to these guys because the blue pill's still being conditioned into guys left and right. So let me push this back up here, and we'll continue on.
Security on your end. And it shows a little bit of a lack of the ability to take leadership and ownership, right? So when you go on a first date with a girl,
ownership?
Yes, ownership.
Nah, fam, this is not it. She fucking called. He said, no, this ain't it. What? I didn't think people like this actually existed, let alone had 54,000 followers on TikTok.
So when you go on a first date with a girl, pay, guys. Just keep the investment low so that if it doesn't work out, you're not pissed off that you spent, you know, 20, 50 bucks on drinks or coffee, whatever it may be.
Is this man's limit for dates $12? Oh, yeah, that's going to be a quality date. I'm not saying you can't go hit, like, the bowling alley and get some Tuesday night specials with some dollar beers, but, like, bro, $20 to $50? That's not even an expensive date. So far, Fresh and Fit is knocking it out of the park, okay? Let's check out the video. How to get a girl to chase you.
How to get a girl to chase. Guys, open up your iPhone and leave read receipts on. You need these women to know that you looked at the message and you're just not going to respond.
Yeah, let's just manipulate the other person. That's great advice. Good job, Fresh and Fit. Yep, let's keep going.
Yeah, because no woman would ever do the same exact thing that you're just discussing right now. No woman in her life would ever do anything like that.
No, of course not.
Whatsoever. No. And I again, this is like sort of, I'm going to analyze him rather than you at this point here. I'll ask you, you know, why you think this is a good idea. But again, his inability to sort of wrap his head around why a guy would do that. It's like he's stunned by this idea that any guy would be manipulating a girl. And again, the reason for this, the reason why he thinks it's manipulative is because he's aligned with this feminine way of thinking. And how do women think? They want the guy who's authentic. They want the guy who's for real. This is like, again, this is the beta side of things. This is like the attraction side of hypergamy, which is, I want a guy who's going to be real. He's going to be dependable. He's going to, you know, just be yourself. I just want him to just be himself. Yeah. And that the JBY card doesn't buy much. And a lot of guys as far back as, you know, the early 2000s figured that one out already. But it's you know, sales, seduction, everything is, you can call it manipulation, but is, you know, women dyeing their hair manipulation? Is a push-up bra manipulation? Is high heels a manipulation? Is wearing a red dress or hoop earrings a manipulation? What is a manipulation, right? And the reason why he's upset about this is because he's been conditioned to think that if a guy isn't 100% above board, or if he's trying to in some way like have a technique or have a rule or have a standard for himself, that guys just need to be necessitous all the time, that they should be just thankful that, you know, thankful that the gods above smiled on them and the light shone down on them, and some girl just, you know, lowered herself to date this guy, and that if he screws something up, then that's going to be on him. And if he uses if he loses any kind of manipulative tactic, it sounds like manipulation, but it's not. It's just a standard. It's just a rule. It's just something that you do because it increases your ability to be that guy. It increases that the idea that you control the frame. And again, that's why he got really pissed off at the idea of ownership. Yes, you have to own the frame. Women want you to own the frame. And later on, you'll see how he sort of subscribes to this egalitarian, equal, you know, well, we need to be equal partners and we need to be equal this. And it's like, he's presuming that women aren't doing this. He's presuming that, like, again, taking the female side of the whole thing. But go ahead. You were going to say?
No, I mean, him saying like, well, why do you got to do all that? Again, it goes just to speak to inexperience, because any guy that sits there and thinks that women are sugar and spice and everything nice, and that they don't have an even bigger reason to lie is foolish. Because the thing that guys make a mistake of is they don't understand that women are they're professionals at two things. The professionals at extracting resources and selling purity. And they understand, right, to get commitment from a high value guy, they got to sell purity so that they can extract the resources. Because girls know on a deep fundamental level that being a hoe ain't going to get you a husband. So they're going to keep that on the low, and they're going to do everything they can to not let you know their promiscuous past, etc. So since we know women play this game, you got to play the game back. Because the thing is that this guy is playing by a set of rules that don't work anymore. Because nowadays, women are liberated. They're incentivized to do what they want. They don't really respect male authority anymore. You know what I mean? Like the chivalry, being a gentleman. I tell guys all the time, F that. You're not going to be a gentleman anymore, because women aren't ladies anymore. They want to be empowered, feminist, and etc. So you know what? You give her what she asked for all these decades, equality. And then she's got to come. If she wants the chivalry, she wants you to be a gentleman, she wants you to do all this stuff, she's got to earn that, man. But the problem is that these guys want to roll a red carpet out to these chicks, right? And say, hey, yeah, I'll pay for the, I'll take you out to dinner day, I'll take you on a trip, all this other stuff. And it's like, she hasn't earned that. So since she hasn't earned it, she's going to disrespect you. So that's why I say you need to leave these chicks on scene and play the same game that they do. Because if because basically what these guys are doing is they're going into a gunfight with a knife. Oh, let me just be honest and transparent and all this other BS. Like, nah, you got to go and play the same games that they're doing. The tactics that I teach guys are the same exact things that women have been doing forever. It's just that women are way better at hiding it. Why? Because they're professional purity dealers. They can't sit there and tell you the truth like, hey, I got like 100 bodies. No, they're going to tell you they got 10. So the only way for you to discern if a chick is actually being a used car salesman versus a brand new car is what? You're going to have to drive a lot of cars, get in there, test drive, figure out the brakes are kind of off, sun's off here, blah, blah, blah. But you ain't going to get that unless you get experience with chicks. That's why I tell every single guy, don't commit to no chick or get married until you have at least a 50 lay count. In today's day and age, that's nothing. And these girls are running circles around guys, and they're over here buying hook, line, and sinker, this purity that these girls are going. And then bam, next thing you know, you're walking down the aisle, marrying this chick, and she was never worthy of a marriage in the first place because you didn't pick up on the red flags and the issues. And it starts with this, not playing the same game that women play, being stupid, not using their same tactics against them. I'm just giving guys a fighting chance, but this dude is like, that's manipulation. But he's too stupid to realize that women have been doing this forever.
Right. And anything that guys would do to increase their chances of getting around the hypergamous filter comes off as manipulation. In fact, women would very much like to make it illegal for guys. I mean, I mean that in all seriousness. They would like to legislate it that if she has sex with a guy who she thought was an attorney or she thought was a surgeon or she thought was doing his residency or whatever, and it turns out he's a sandwich artist or a barista or something, and she had sex with him, then she can go and sue him or have him dragged into jail for rape because she would not have given consent to have sex with him had she known he was a barista, had she known, and again, that goes back to sort of this opportunistic idea of hypergamy. And guys like this are like, yeah, sounds good. Good idea. They got to be authentic. They got to say what they're, and you tell you why, because guys who are low SMV, when they see a guy like you, when they see a guy like me, when they see a guy like the, Mystery or all, these guys who are teaching game, what they're teaching is how to get past that hypergamous filter, how to present yourself in such a way that you might actually be arousing to this girl. Present yourself in such a way. And so what they do is they harp on authenticity. And that's why they call it manipulative, because they don't look and say, well, a woman can be a foodie call or a woman can be this, because what they'll say is if you're talking about like foodie calls or you're talking about a woman who is manipulative or she's a gold digger or whatever, they'll downplay that, because that's a low quality woman. Well, you're just an idiot anyways. You shouldn't be going out with those low quality women to begin with. That's on you. It's always on you. Always. So if you say, hey, I want to learn how to be better with women, I want to learn how to like be the best version of myself, even if that's actually trying to get to the point of authenticity of being the surgeon or the guy, the high value guy, even if that's the process, the very fact that you're trying to present yourself as something that is higher value than what you are, which might be the same value that they are, but you're figuring it out and they're not, that's intrasexual combat. They're going to that's the crab in the barrel. They're going to grab the crab and pull you back down into the barrel because they don't want you to, they'll say, oh, look at this idiot. He's being inauthentic. He's being he's a poser. He's a fake. That's the first thing they always say. In fact, it's in this goddamn thread right now in the comments right now. Oh, he's a poser. He's a fake. He's a fraud. He's a da. Of course, that's where your first thought is going to go. If you've got a guy who has found some way to figure out how to do an end run around women's existential fear, which is to get with a guy who she thinks is alpha, but he's really beta. And so what beta guys do is they go, no, he's really a beta like the rest of us. Don't fuck him. Please don't fuck him. And you're figuring it out and you're teaching other guys how to do the same thing. Yeah, they're going to be really pissed off because you've just set yourself ahead of them in the reproductive arms race. So anyways, I'll go ahead real quick. I'm going to continue on, but
yeah, no, the people that gave the most hate were women by far in all these TikTok videos.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let me put this out.
Especially if she says something stupid. let her question what she did wrong and let the hamster wheel work for you.
Oh, okay. You just manipulate girls and leave them on red just for the sake of leaving them on red?
No.
So that you saw their message? You're just being a dick, okay?
No.
You're not letting the hamster wheel work for you, as you so elegantly put it. You're actually just manipulating the other person, and it makes you the biggest dirtbag I've ever seen on TikTok.
Oh, well, then I guess the women who do exactly the same thing, they're the biggest dirtbags that are on TikTok as well, right? Wrong? Yeah. I don't know. You tell me, man. So they're only pissed off again when a guy does an end run using the same methodology that women use.
Your biggest weapon as a man in 2020 and beyond is a woman's imagination. Don't be stupid.
How to date multiple girls at the same time.
Okay, I think we know where that line came from because that's straight out of my book. So it's like you're right. The best toolbox the best tool in your toolbox is a woman's imagination. And again, that's not manipulative. That's not bad. That's actually very, very good, particularly if you're a guy who's invested already in the girl that you already want to make her, you want her to be a challenge. You want her to come along. You want her to be in your frame. You want to give. I mean, really, by being the dominant guy who is quote unquote manipulative, whatever it is, you're giving that girl. If it didn't work, women wouldn't have anything to do with you. Women wouldn't do anything, right? I mean, if game didn't work, we wouldn't even be talking about it. Would we be talking about it today in 2021? Probably not.
Of course.
All right, guys, how to date multiple girls at the same time. Simply put, don't see them more than one time per week, maybe 2 times at most if she's going to travel to you. And what you got to do is you got to stagger them, okay, so they don't find out about each other. But the point is you need to date multiple girls because that's exactly what girls do with guys, just that they're way more covert about it and guys don't get it. So don't be stupid, date multiple girls so you don't have a scarcity mindset.
Guys, get out there and do the work. Find us on YouTube, Monday and Thursday, 6 p.m., Fresh and Fit Podcast on YouTube.
For more gems like this, peace.
I'm just going to mute this for right now because I don't want to. Dude is like chock full of freaking ads, man. And like unskippable ads too. So anyways, he's really upset. He's going to get really upset about the fact that you're spinning plates, right? You're dating non-exclusively.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, women hate when you employ their same tactics back against them. So like I tell guys to deal with multiple chicks because like because here's the thing, like I always say, a guy's abundance mindset has to be earned. When you're dating multiple girls, you're going to start to give off a certain energy that the girls are going to feel like they're replaceable. And like when girls feel like they're replaceable, that's when they're on their best behavior. And guys ask me all the time, like, whoa, isn't that manipulation, whatever? I always ask them this question, bro. If you were Drake, if you were Future, would this girl treat you this way? If the answer is no, then you got to figure out why it's not a yes. And whether that means getting your value up higher or like treating her more expendable, whatever. When a girl feels like she's secure, and I always say it, man, excuse my language, but you guys got to memorize this song by Future, Bitch Don't Get Too Comfortable, because that is when women are going to be on their best behavior. I'm saying it again, because when chicks know that they got you, that's when the disrespect starts. That's when they're going to start testing you. That's when the shit tests go up as soon as they start to realize that their position is solid. But when they know that you have other girls, they see earrings at your place, they see hair at your place. I don't clean my place. I'll leave it right there. And they'll be like, oh my God, you had another girl here. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. It is what it is. Because then she knows that her position is not, it's not guaranteed. Now, is there a negative to this? Yes, there is. You're going to lose a lot of girls. You're going to lose girls. They're not going to like it. They're going to think you're rude, you're crass, whatever it may be. But who cares? Because at the end of the day, having that abundance mindset is more important than actually maintaining the girl. Because if you're confident, you can go and replace her anyway. And that's where all this stems from, being able to like replace the chick. The thing is that when guys exercise this and date multiple girls and make them expendable, like I teach guys to do, I always say anytime a guy gets a decided advantage in the dating market, women are always going to fight it, because a woman's manipulation tactics is really her only real way to combat you as a man. Let's keep it real. Women are physically inferior to us. Despite what they want to say, they're physically inferior. I think Tate talked about this, where like the guy that was ranked like 200 something in tennis went and like destroyed Serena Williams. You know what I'm saying? And Serena Williams, this cream of the crop female athlete, destroyed by a guy when he's probably drunk and hungover. You know what I mean? So that we're physically superior to them. So the one thing that they have over us is social calibration. Like understanding the other gender, understanding social dynamics. So if a guy can compete with a woman, when it comes to social calibration and manipulation tactics and all this other stuff that they've been employing for years to trick guys into extracting resources, that's when it's a problem, because this guy's stronger than me and he's more cunning. Fuck this. We don't want this guy getting this information out to everybody else.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say, I in book 4, I also mentioned this, is like a lot of women like hate it when you say, oh, women are the weaker sex. Well, they are. Physically, they're the weaker sex, but so women lose their minds about that. But one thing you can like, of course, what they do is they show you like female bodybuilders on freaking Trend or something, and oh look, see, she can be muscular, or you can be a woman and be muscular, blah blah blah. She would probably kick your ass, right? Okay, very few, very far between. Let's be honest, like 70, 80, well, 70, 75% of women are overweight in the United States. So let's call a spade here. But the thing I was going to say is that women are the most vulnerable sex, and they know that they're the most vulnerable sex because they are the incubators of the next generation. They understand on an instinctive level that if they make a bad reproductive choice, that it could be a death sentence for them. They understand that 9 months being knocked up with a kid and then God knows how long to raise that kid to self-sufficiency. We say it's 18 years, but in our ancestral past, it might have been like 8 years or 10 years or whatever. That is still part of women's evolved mental firmware. So it's this want for, certainty, knowing that this guy is the best I can do. That's what that you want to know what the hypergamous filter is. Is this guy the best I can do? And so if you're not that guy, if you were that guy and then suddenly you're not that guy again, then it's, oh shit, I could die. Oh shit, I had a beta's child. Oh shit, my life is fucked right now because I made a bad reproductive decision. I need to get it. Good thing we have legal and safe abortion in Argentina, right? Let's all celebrate that right now. That's the root of the whole thing. It's that existential fear of getting with the guy who is like not who he says he is. So when a guy says, I'm going to explore my own innate mating strategy, that is exactly what dating non-exclusively is for most guys. You want to know why pornography is such a big deal for guys? Because men's innate mating strategy is unlimited access to unlimited sexuality. When a guy like you or any pickup artist comes along and says you need to be spinning multiple plates, you need to have a roster of 3 or 4 girls going at the same time, whatever, that guy is saying go for or try to maximize your innate mating strategy rather than strategic pluralism theory, which is stick with one girl. Monogamy is the way to go. Do this. Cater your entire life to be a good husband, a good dad, dependable, have lots of resources, and be the 3 Ps: protector, provider, and parentally invested. Be that guy instead, because you're low SMV. And if we can keep continuing to make you believe that you're low SMV, then you're going to keep doing that and you're going to be a productive member of society. What that does in this context in 2020, actually really since year 2000, what that does over the last 20 years is it puts women at an extreme advantage over guys because we live in a gynocentric social order. So when guys are still clinging to this idea like, oh, you got to treat her right and you got to be your friend and create comfort and rapport and you don't want to make her feel bad and you don't want to make her feel like she's being manipulated and you don't want to make her think that you have other options. Remember, women want a guy, they don't want a guy to cheat, but they love a guy who could cheat. They love the guy who has the options, who has the pre-selection. They love the guy who her girlfriends want to fuck, but she's got him. And they think she's the shit because she's got him and they don't, but they'd really like to fuck him.
I always say it, man, especially we make jokes all the time about like American women being overweight or whatever, right? Because the average American woman is 5'4", 170 pounds. That's like fact. So if you want to get these chicks to chase, bro, you got to be high value. That's the only time they're going to run and exercise. And a woman will always chase after you if you're high value enough. So, but it never works the other way around, So like, and the only way she's going to chase is if she knows there's other women chasing after you, man. Women need a cosign. I always say it like the best demonstration of higher value from an attraction trigger standpoint is pre-selection. So when other girls want to be with you, they innately say, oh, I need to do it too. Like, oh, if everybody else. This is why rappers get girls. Think about it. They're hood. They disrespect women. On paper, they have all these traits that women tell you, oh, I don't like jerks. I don't like fuckboys, blah, blah, blah. But
because they're telling you what is good for them in the long term.
Exactly. They exhibit all these characteristics that are counterproductive to what women tell you they want in a guy. But why do all the guys get the girls? Well, number one, the social status, which brings what? The pre-selection, because other girls want to get with him. So now all the other girls are like, okay, you know what? I want to get with him too. Because when you treat a girl poorly, right? I hate to say it like this, but this is a fact. This is why girls love bad boys. When you treat a girl poorly, you're letting her know on certain terms through your actions, yo, I'm better than you. So I'm going to treat you like crap because you should be happy to be even around me. And girls eat that up. Why? Because women are literally hardwired to bang dudes that are superior to them. Girls don't like hearing this. No, we're equal partners. Get the fuck out of here. You don't want no equal partner. You want a guy that's better than you. Like
taller than you, better looking than you, smarter than you, makes more money than you, loves puppies more than you, has higher status than you, and yet women's. I'm paraphrasing Patrice O'Neill here, of course, but like that's. But you want that guy to think he's equal to you.
And I want to say one more thing. I made a TikTok video yesterday, but we just went up today. Which if you guys want to follow us on TikTok before we get banned again, it's Real Talk Miami. One word, Real Talk Miami on TikTok. I made a video because I made one video saying, hey, guys, if you bring a girl to your place, which just got a lot of backlash, if you bring a girl to your place and she doesn't want to have sex, or I don't know if we were gonna touch on this. I don't want to.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Shoot.
Bring a girl back to your place. She doesn't want to have sex. You say, all right, cool. You get up, you make another phone call, and you call another girl, right? And then you come back, let her overhear that conversation. It'll matter. Hey, listen, I understand. I respect your boundaries that you don't want to do this right now, but you got to go. And right there, she's going to know on certain terms, oh, competition anxiety, he's about to really replace me right now. And then sometimes they'll say, no, I'll stay, like, whatever. Or she'll just leave. But when I said that, everyone went nuts because I said, yo, it's 100% within her right to deny you sex. But you know what? It's also 100% within your right to kick her the fuck out and find a girl that will give you sex. Because the problem is that as soon as women lose the leverage and they can't dangle the vagina against you anymore, you get your power back. That's girl game. 90% of the time is dangling vagina against you. So when you tell her on certain terms, you're getting replaced right here, right now. Hell, if you wait around, you'll see a replacement. She's going to know right there, whoa, I can't do this to this guy. So she's got to make a decision right there. Like you always say, Rollo, right? Girls can't afford to take a chance on hypergamy. She's going to be like, all right, this guy is the real deal. All right, you know what? No, I'm going to change my mind because the fact that you're letting her know right there and then I'm willing to replace you and you will lose me and you'll probably never talk to me again. She's going to be like, whoa, okay, this is real. But if you let her sit there, what are you doing? You're basically letting her know, hey, you know what? It's okay. You could dangle vagina against me, whatever. And when I said that, right, I had girls saying, you're a misogynist, you're a rapist, all this crazy stuff, right? And then then married guys were like, oh man, if I tried this, I'll get divorced. Man, I've been married 20 years and my wife doesn't give it anymore. So I did another video on the TikTok right now. If you're married, this is what you need to do. And I said, if your wife, because just like we were talking about before, you were saying like women have this laundry list of requirements, right? They want you to be better than them, all this other stuff. Guys don't ask for much. Maybe some food, maybe some clean house, some companionship and sex. If your wife can't give you sex, to anyone in here in this chat right now, if your wife, your girlfriend, some woman that you're dealing with romantically is not giving you sex, you kick her to the curb right now. You send her a text right now while we're in there and tell her, yo, we're done. Because here's the thing. Women want a lot from a guy. Men don't ask for much. If they can't even give you the small request of sex, which she's getting a mutual benefit from, bro, kick her to the curb because here's the problem. Women treat sex like a value-loaded exchange. They always want something for it. Very rarely do women give sex to you without you having to do something, right? So since women treat it as a value-loaded exchange, even though it's really an equal value exchange, it's nothing more than shaking hands. Like, guys got to understand that it's an equal value exchange. So if she doesn't give you sex, that's like the ultimate form of disrespect. Because I always say this. If Drake walked in a room, would she tell him, oh, no, we're not going to have sex? Like, I'm not feeling it right now. Hell no. Because Drake would tell her, yo, get the fuck out right now. And one last point I want to make. Selena Powell, I encourage all you guys to watch this video that I'm going to tell you guys right now. So you guys understand, like, the female psyche. She made a video, how to slide in a rapper's DMs. Okay, Selena Powell with a C-E-L-I-N-A. She actually lives in this building. And she literally said the first step to getting a rapper is you better be about it when you show up at his hotel room. Why did she say that? Because she knows most girls leverage sex for compliance. So she's telling them these rules don't apply to these guys. They ain't going to tolerate that shit. So what she really saying in womanese is this. He's a high value guy. You're not going to get this chance again. If you show up and try to leverage sex, he's kicking you out. I need all men to adopt that mentality. Because if you adopt the mentality with these chicks, they're not going to walk all over you when they know they can't control you with sex. But when I say these things, you're a misogynist, blah, blah, blah. No, fuck you.
It's because you're making them overt. That's why, because you're dragging them out into the light, into the sunlight, right? So when you say stuff like that, when you go like, well, here's what you ought to do, like here's your standards, this is what you do, and of course this is one of the complaints. Like if you've read the 9 Iron Rules of TOMASSI, right? Number 3 is any girl that makes you wait for sex, the sex is never worth the wait. And again, it's not about like, oh, well, you want loose women, right? Or she's not going to be loose and ready to, down to DTF. Then you're just interested in sluts and low quality women. Well, the reason why people they default to you just want like loose women. What's wrong with you? The reason they default to that is because they don't have any other frame of reference. That's the only comeback they have to that. But the truth about that rule is it's about genuine desire. It's about having that woman who wants to tear your clothes off, where there's nothing that comes between you and her, and that urgency and that anxiety and that sexual, that's what I call it, sexual tension, right? There has to be that kind of like, there's nothing I want more in the world than to be a ride or die girl for you right now. That whole thing is about genuine desire. It's not about exchange. It's not about transactions. It's about her saying, this guy is the hottest thing, that he's definitely the best I can do. Even if you're not, and you're perceptually the best she can do, if she thinks that way. Because the guys will say like, well, what about insecure women? Yeah, sometimes there are insecure women who are hot, who will think that other guys who are definitely not that good looking or that like hot for them, but they, for whatever reason, they see that guy as a step above them in SMV. That's when you get women who really want to get with that guy, they're the ride or die girls, because it's about genuine desire. It's inspiring that. And like what you're saying right now is, there are guys like, and it could be a rapper, it could be a high value. Think of a high value guy. It could be a celebrity, it could be a rock star, it could be a rap star, whatever it is. The guy that women, he's the guy that other men want to be and other women want to bang. That dude right there, he is manifesting behaviors without even knowing that he's doing it, because that's just second nature to him. Like if a girl comes up, like a rapper girl comes to his apartment, she better be down for it, right? He's already presuming that she is, because he's always been rewarded with the attention and the sex of other women. So as a result of that, his personality is such, and his behavior and his default and his reflexive personality to this new girl that's coming in is, I'm already a high value guy. And he's not thinking this. He's not like he's going, I better think that it's not a cognitive process. It's like I said, mental point of origin. His mental point of origin is that he's a high value alpha guy that gets rewarded with sex. That changes who he is. That's his personality. So as a result, his behaviors, his mindset, his decision making, the things that he wants to do, the things that he doesn't want to do, all of that is defined by the fact that he's already a high value guy. Because of that, those behaviors that he manifests, women pick up on that and go, oh shit, he's really a high value guy. When you're not a high value guy, those are the behaviors that beta males and that guys who are trying to figure out women and wondering what women are all about and trying to be better with women. That's the vibe. That's the energy. Right? That's the whole thing, is like they're trying to figure out, what is this guy doing? How is he behaving? That's making women, that's triggering, that's the stimulus response, right? It's behaviorism. It's operant conditioning, really, what it is. If I act like this, if I act like an asshole, if I act like a rap star, if I dress like a rap star, if I talk like a rap star, if I whatever it is, if I do and I ape these behaviors, that's going to trigger this response in this girl right here. And therefore she's going to be more apt to want to have sex with me, because I'm manifesting those behaviors. It's much better if you're actually authentically a rock star, a rap star, a high value guy. Much better. You can have a muse mastery and all this other good stuff that comes along with that. But when you get to that point, you will start naturally manifesting behaviors because you're being rewarded and you realize, I'm a higher value guy. It's like guys who go from being fat to being in shape and yoked. Guys who get who are like, they grew up as like the fat kid in high school, and then they get in their 20s and they start running and building muscle and everything else, and they become something different, right? They transform themselves. They think that a lot of guys will say, well, it's just the muscles. Yeah, it is the muscles, but it's also your impression of yourself and your understanding of your own personality as a result of those muscles having an effect on other people and their response to you. Good-looking people get a different response than fat, ugly people. I know that's hard to understand, but that's really how it works. So what happens is you will start manifesting behaviors naturally as a result of that. And you don't even realize that you're doing it, but women are picking up on it because they evolved to be sensitive to pick up on that kind of stuff. So you go from being a fat schlub to being an alpha guy who's much more in shape and much more, has better self-esteem as a result of that. The behaviors you manifest are the natural behaviors that come. And most guys don't even realize that they're doing it. They just say, well, women just love me. Yeah, well, because you have a different attitude about yourself and you look different.
And I want to say one last thing, because people are probably wondering, yo, why'd you use Selena Powell? I saw some of the comments. Guys, why I'm using Selena Powell as an example is because Selena Powell sleeps with a lot of high value men, right? She's sleeping with a lot of celebrities, etc. So when she made this video, guys, it's called, I think, How to Slide in a Rapper's Celebs DMs, etc. Go ahead and look it on YouTube. She's advising women how to do it. And the number one thing she tells the women is, guys, that game that you play with your boyfriend or guys that you deal with of leveraging sex for compliance, it ain't going to work with these dudes. You better be about it because they're going to kick you out. That was one of the most telling things ever, because Selena was telling the truth. Hey, ladies, normal girl game of telling a guy, no, I don't do it until the third date. That ain't going to work here. So you better be about it. And the fact that she's advising women on this and how to sleep with high value guys is very telling that high value guys don't wait. So when a chick tries to sit there and tell you, oh, we're not going to sleep together right now, whatever, I kick her out my house immediately to let her know, yo, I'm not, like, I've kicked mad girls out my place. They cry, all this other shit. I don't care. Get out. Because I look at it like this. If a girl doesn't give you sex, she's basically telling you right there and then, like, yo, I like you. I enjoy your attention, but like, you're not the top thing for me right now. I'm probably banging another guy, and it's just like, I'm not ready right now. Cool. Make some other loser wait. Get the fuck out. And that's how you got to operate, because when you are cutthroat like that, I tell guys all the time, women are painfully pragmatic when they mate select. They'll virtue signal in public, but when they're picking a guy that they want to deal with and they want to date, how tall is he? How much money does he make? Is he confident? Blah, blah, blah. They're super selective. So I tell guys all the time, you have to bring a lot to the table as a man to be attractive in 2020. If she can't even give you sex, kick her out, bro, because she's disrespecting you, because men don't ask for much. We really don't. So if she can't even fulfill that, get her out and find a girl that will. And then women hate that. You're rapist. Actually, on the contrary, I'm not at all. I'm telling you, you're going to get replaced by somebody else. So, but women hate that. They're going to shame you. You're a jerk. You're a misogynist. Well, this is rape culture. No, it ain't. I'm just exercising that I'm not going to sit here and tolerate you telling me that I got to wait or I'm not ready tonight. If a girl likes you guys, let me tell you something. I've had girls that didn't feel good. They were sick. Maybe that time of the month. And they're like, you know what? No, let's still do it. Because the fear of losing me outweigh temporary discomfort. That's, you know, a girl really messes with you. That's true burning desire. You guys out negotiating for pussy, you already lost. Kick her out the house and let her know she's replaceable. And I guarantee you, next time you hang out with her, she's going to suck your dick dry, man. That's when girls behave.
I've actually used that example in Hypergamy is Not a Straitjacket, because a lot of guys will say, well, you know, especially in the doom pill and the spurg pill or whatever it is, they want to say, well, you know, I'm never going to be a high value guy. I'm never going to be able to be Giga Chad. And why would I invest in a girl if she's always going to just go for the guy? And I said this, you know, hypergamy is not a straitjacket. And the main reason for that is that just because that woman is just because she's in a particular time of the month, right, doesn't mean she's not going to go for the alpha guy.
Yep.
Because there is hypergamy cannot afford to miss out on a opportunity for optimization. So it won't matter whether she's like, yeah, I was doing about 2 videos back or 3 videos back, I was doing about menstruation and ovulatory shift. Just because she's in a particular phase does not, again, not a straitjacket. Just because she's in a particular phase of ovulation doesn't mean she won't fuck a high value guy, because she wants to lock down that guy so that when she is in ovulation, that he's around and available, and it's like the free samples to get you, to get you to ovulation. Let me put this one out here. Samurai Flax says this: if the thinking is, oh, I got with a beta and I could die, would the same apply to an alpha? Yes. I'm with this alpha who doesn't have a lot of resources and bananas, so I could die by starvation. Yeah, there is that, because that's the hypergamous balance. It's like trying to balance trade-offs, like cost versus investment. So yeah, it very much so. Remember, even when women get with a high value alpha male in our evolutionary past, she could still die in childbirth. So it's not like and before we had modern medicine and everything, obviously. But that the idea that she gets with the guy who is the guy who's the hot dude, but he's not the good provider. He doesn't have the 3 Ps, right? Protection, provisioning, and parental investment, and particularly parental investment. That's the trade-off. So what happens? She fucks the guy who's the alpha, and she tries to get the guy who's the beta, the good dad, to think that the kid is his. That's the cuckoldry. That of course is the male existential fear, which is to be cuckolded by a woman, because that is a practical strategy for women's reproductive strategies. And then what else do I got here? I got a couple more, and we'll wind this down. I got one more. I want to go through one more thing on this video. It says, this guy Myron out here spitting straight facts.
Thanks,
and Assange, with women I got with game, a lot of them make me wait. How long should I wait for genuine desire? And when should I drop plates when it saves time? It's a lot of guys we talked about this. The reason he's asking this is because I think I talked about this on Sundays about persistence. Like, how persistent should you be with any one particular woman? I'm of the opinion right now that the sexual market, the global sexual market has changed so much that desire should be something that is at least immediately recognizable. I'm not saying you have to like bang her on the first night, but there should be like a real genuine, like guys who don't have the social skills to pick up on this is what confuses them. Like, oh, I think she's giving me mixed messages. No, she's just not into you. Usually. That's usually just not into you, because of a girl. Remember this. This is in book number 1. A woman who wants to bang you, a woman that wants to have sex with you, that is into you, will not confuse you. She'll be like, yep, let's go. She's the hell yes girl. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the hell yes girl. Do you want to go on a date? Hell yes. Do you want to meet my mom? Hell yes. Do you want to go, horseback riding over the range? Hell yes. Do you want to go put on high heels and go to this formal with me? Hell yes. Whatever it is, the answer is hell yes. That's what you're looking for. And again, I'm being extreme and making a stupid, silly illustration here, but by order of degree, you're looking for that level of interest. Old school PUAs used to measure that as levels of interest. Well, she's at 80%. If I can get her up to 90%, then we're going to get to sex. If she's 100%, she's already banging you on the first night, kind of thing. If she's at 50%, maybe you don't want to even put any more energy into that particular plate, because you have other plates that are more productive for you. Which again gets back to what you were saying about spinning plates, dating non-exclusively, because guys who are out, guys always worry about like, oh, well, this girl will find out, or this girl over here, or whatever. If I kick her out, then I'm going to miss out on this kind of thing. If you have the alpha mindset, if you're a high value guy, even if you don't have the alpha mindset and you are the guy that other guys want to be and other women want to bang, even if you don't have that, you're going to still display manifest those kinds of behaviors, because that's what women are looking for. They're looking for the congruency between the alpha guy and the behaviors that he's putting out and putting forth. So even if you're like completely blue pill and you're still like a blue pill alpha, it's not that they don't get laid. They do. They just don't realize why they're getting laid. Yeah. They don't understand the process, or they say, oh, I don't know, just always been lucky in love. No, it's not. It's just you're doing things that other people have to figure out, and you didn't have to figure them out.
Yeah, those guys are naturals, and they're never in a position to advise anybody. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Let's get this one last bit here. We're coming up on 2 hours, and I did want to get a little bit further into this. So let's look at this guy.
Are you kidding me?
Hey guys, how to go for the kiss. Simply put, all you need to do is when you go on a date, make sure you're building up tension sexually by holding her hand crossing the street. Make sure when you're next to her, you're staying down next to her.
Next time you do a video, don't do it in a crowded mall.
Give her a twirl, look in her eyes, and if she's looking at you directly, go for the kiss. And for the most part, when you go for the kiss, if she says no, it's fine. Try again later on. That's how you go for the kiss.
Whatever you do, don't ask her to kiss her, guys. Girls just want you to get it, all right?
We have reached an all-time low. Fuck consent. Just go for it. That's what girls want. An assertive, dominant male. So just grab them and kiss them. Are you fucking crazy? Are you out of your mind? Is it a social experiment to see how many people hate your content? Because that's the only logical explanation I'm coming to here.
The number one trait to be good with women in 2020 and beyond. You need to treat women as expendable commodities. Yeah.
Is this man serious? Is he serious? You need to treat women as expendable commodities.
Yeah, I said it. Let me tell you guys something. When girls flake on you, leave you unseen, don't respond to your texts, stand you up, curve you, why is that?
Because you're trash. You suck. Nobody likes you. That's why.
Well, it's because women naturally treat men as expendable commodities. They're going off the highest bidder. Men need to adopt that same mindset to be successful in dating in the modern age.
No, they don't. Nobody thinks like that. And if they do, they have a problem. Just like you. Humans are not goods, okay? They're not Amazon packages that are expendable commodities.
Remember this, guys. Men are
Right there is the bad feels. That's the whole thing on the bad feels part right there. So the first thing he's like saying, like on the kiss thing and going for the kiss kind of thing. Women want men who just get it. They want the guy who knows that she's into him enough to say, okay, I'm going to go for the kiss right now. What he's saying is ask permission. Ask permission, ask permission, ask permission. This guy is a product of the yes means yes, the no means no, yes means yes paradox that sort of took place, I think, between like 2009 and like 2017, somewhere around there. So here's the thing is like, what do you do as a guy, right? Are you going to be the guy who I think really...
He lives in New York, by the way, too. He lives in New York. Stand up.
Guys who have a problem with consent is... they don't understand how like humans like have mated and got together over the course of the last, I don't know, like 100,000 years. So it's like when it's like guys who go and are assertive, like the alpha male guy who is going to go and be the guy that other women want to bang and other men want to be. He's going to get it. I keep saying this. Guys really think I'm being ambiguous about this, or they think that I'm when I say you need to be the guy who just gets it, it's the guy who doesn't have to be told that he wants that. Can I hold your hand? Can I kiss you? Can I do this? Can I do that? That's not going to work. I don't care what century you're in. Because what it does is it shows that guy is inept socially, and in that he's the guy who just doesn't get it. Guys who go and the guys who go and look for advice on dating from other women, the guy who has to be, or he asks the girl that he's even with, well, what do I got to do? The fact that you would even ask, what do I have to do? The fact that you would have to ask, can I kiss you? You don't get it. You're not the guy that gets it. And guys who have to be told how to be masculine, guys who have to be told how to be dominant, guys who have to be told how women work. If you have to be told that, and particularly by the girl you're trying to get with, you don't get it, and you are not the guy for her. So when you're making like spreadsheets and she turned me down for sex on this, or what is it that women really want? Let me get my notebook out and figure these things out. If you're that guy, that's, first of all, this gamma behavior that women hate those guys, but to the point that they want to beat them in the face. Why do they hate them so much? The guy who's trying to figure out how to get laid, the guy who's trying to figure out how to give women what they want, right? How do I make myself the guy that you want to be? That guy doesn't get it. And you know why women hate that is because most guys don't even realize they're doing this because they're completely clueless, either socially or just with women in general. But the reason why they hate that is it's a guy who is a beta asking a woman, how do I get around your hypergamous filter? That's why they hate those guys with such a passion. Yeah. They're nerdy. They're trying to figure out how to, okay, there's got to be a formula to this. That's why they hate PUA. That's why they hate game. That's why they hate my book. That's why they hate you, because you are teaching guys how to get around that hypergamous filter. And God forbid a guy asks a woman directly that he's trying to get with, well, what is it that you want in a guy? Because I'll be that, I'll identify with you. And if you have to say that, you're the kind of guy who would try to trick her into thinking that you were alpha when you're really not. Because if you were, you wouldn't be asking in the fucking first place.
Let me tell you this, man, Rollo. You want that was a great point you made. You guys, I want everyone to pay attention real quick, man. Listen, going up to a chick and asking her, hey, how do I be more attractive? That's almost as stupid as putting on a ski mask, walking into a bank, going to the manager saying, hey, listen, man, can you tell me where the security cameras are, the codes and everything like that? I'm trying to rob this place in about a week. Do you mind letting me know? And by the way, also let me know when you guys call the FBI. Like, that's how dumb you guys are when you take advice from women on how to be attractive. They're not going to tell you because it is in their best interest to never tell you what makes you attractive to them. Because when you're able to figure this stuff out, what happens? You're able to gain the advantage in the relationship. And when you have the advantage in the relationship, women understand that they can't really do too much because you're already physically stronger than them. You're already going to probably be competent to some degree. If she's attracted to you in the first place, you're already going to be, women want a guy who's superior to them. So when you are superior to them, even on the cognitive level, that's when they're like, whoa, this is a danger zone. So they're never going to tell you what it takes to be attractive, guys. Just like a bank manager is never going to tell a bank robber walking in with a ski mask, hey, yeah, you could just rob us on Friday. You know what I'm saying? That's when we have the least security guards, no cameras, and, we won't call the FBI that day. We got it. Don't worry. Come in. Like, no, guys, you can't ask the bank manager how to do it. You got to go find a bank robber that's done no time and done this before successfully and ask him, how do I rob a bank? You know what I'm saying? That's the equivalent to what it is. But guys, don't go rob banks. But I'm just using the analogy.
So I'm gonna keep going here. But before I do, so that's the first thing. The first thing is the consent thing, and that's been a hot button issue for a long time. Particularly when we went from no means no to yes means yes. Now, yes means yes was sort of like the itemized list of things you have to do. Now, of course, he has to hit on that. He just jumps on it really quickly and then moves on to something else because, again, what he's trying to do is identify with the feminine, like girls like me, because I would ask your permission to kiss. Real men ask permission to kiss you. Like I would love to do a poll where women will go, yeah, I want a guy to ask me to. First of all, women don't want to be in the position. They don't want to be dating a guy who would ask in the first place. They want the guy who knows well enough when to move in for the kiss, when not to move in for the kiss, when to escalate. Because that's really what kissing is. It's just escalating to sex eventually, but it's an escalation. Kino, different kind of, if you're going through the sort of the flow of a date, let's just say, or you're going through the flow of guys in the pickup artist community made it sort of like this formulaic thing where it's attraction, comfort, and then seduction kind of thing. That I get it. Then that's old school, and I realize that's old school. But that flow of the date kind of thing, it's an escalation. It's also like increasing her buying temperature. If she's not kissing you, or she doesn't want to kiss, or she doesn't lean in to kiss you, right? So what is he saying, right? Is it like, well, she should be the one that should be climbing all over you, and you shouldn't be the one that's actually kissing on her because that's close to being rape, or that's close to being, or you're defying her consent, or you're breaking her barriers or something like that. Well, if she's into you that much, she's expecting you to know when. She's expecting you to just get it. And that's what you're trying to convey, but he's just going to go and make fun of it. Now, the second thing he was talking about was treating women as if they're commodities. And again, that's where we get into the idea of sexual market value and sexual marketplace. Women have since day one, since back in 2002, have said exactly what this guy is saying. Well, human beings we're human beings. We're not products on Amazon, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, have you been on Tinder lately? Have you been on Twitter? Have you been on Instagram? Have you been on Twitch? Have you been on YouTube? Have you been anywhere on planet Earth and seen how the sexual marketplace works? It is a marketplace. And it's quantifiable and it's qualifiable. And you put yourself at a severe disadvantage if you buy into this Disney Pixar bullshit emotionalism about human being this, human being. Okay, yeah, people are people, and we should be, we should have innate human value. Great. What he's doing is what old women do when they don't understand why they're not attractive anymore. They don't understand why they're not arousing anymore because they've been told, women have been told their entire life that their sexual market value is their personal worth. And I keep saying this, just because you are a 6, ladies, that doesn't mean that you can't be a surgeon and you're not a great person. You wouldn't be a great mom or whatever. It means that your sexual market value makes you a 6. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that that's where you are in the sexual marketplace. Women do this all the time. There's the guy that they want to have the one night stand with. There's the hot guy in the foam cannon party. I was drunk, he was cute, and one thing led to another. And then there's the guy who is boyfriend material, and I'm going to make him wait, and I'm going to make him jump through hoops. I'm going to make him do these things. I'm going to make here's these tests that I want him to sort of complete to qualify to me. The guy that she banged in Cancun, that guy didn't have to jump through those hoops. Women make rules for make rules for betas, and they break rules for alphas. And the sooner you accept that, and the sooner you understand that, and the sooner you can incorporate that into your dealings with women, you'll understand. Is this woman ask yourself immediately, is this woman making rules for me? If so, you ain't that guy. You ain't the guy that she wants to tear your clothes off for. And women will say this, we talked about this earlier, is that women will say, well, if I don't jump into bed with him immediately, then that makes me then I'm put at a severe disadvantage, because there are plenty of women who will jump into bed with this guy immediately. And if I don't do that, I'm going to miss out. Okay. That's something that women have to deal with, not what you should have to deal with. So yes. So women will say, well, I'm forced to be a slut. I'm forced to be a slut because if I don't, I'm going to miss out on the high value guy. That's the marketplace. That's the commodity. That's what you're dealing with. It's what will the market bear? Is that what you want to do? Because really what women have 2 different guys. They have the guy that they want to bang, and they have the guy that they want to be, in a relationship with. And any woman will tell you this, particularly when they are in their peak sexual market value years, which is right around 23, 24 years old, somewhere 22, 23 years old. So that said, let me, what the hell is this? Philion is 19. Is he 19? I don't think he's 19. He looks older than 19.
He's older than that.
He's way older than 19. So let me see what else, because he was really upset about the commodities thing here.
Be a man. Do what's right. Women are taught, do what's right for you, girl. You need to adopt the same mindset.
Never be vulnerable to your girl.
Oh,
all right, guys, this is why you should never be vulnerable to your girl. Quite frankly, women aren't equipped to deal with the problems that men deal with. Women live in a different world than we do, guys.
No, they don't. They deal with the same problems we do. We all live in the same world. Men and women are not that inherently different from each other.
Yes, they are. In fact, I can show you in no uncertain terms how men and women are more different than they are alike. And this is where he kind of screws the pooch on this whole thing. And I just wanted to get to that one point, is that his entire approach, his entire thought process is rooted right here. Men and women don't go through, they go through exactly the same thing. He has been taught from probably a very early age, from the time he's probably about 5 years old, that men and women, boys and girls, are all inherently equal, and we are co-equal agents, and we all have the same hopes and dreams, and we should all be equal partners, and we all go through the same things. Bullshit. We have, in fact, gender differences begin in the womb. They begin in the process of creating you as a boy or a girl. I can show you I can show you the studies. I can show you the biological research. I can show you the fMRI studies of how men and women's brains are wired. I can show you the gender differences down to the cellular level in human beings. Men and women are different. Men tend to be interested in things. Women tend to be interested in people. We have different innate proclivities. We have different things that we naturally gravitate towards. There's things that men are better at than women are better at. Why is it that more men are champion chess players? Why are there as far as I know, there are no champion female chess players in spite of what Netflix would like you to think in their fantasy world. Okay. But why is that? Exactly. So there's natural proclivities. Men's experience in this world is fundamentally different than women's experience in this world. And to say that it is any different is absolute lunacy. when you can, I can show you the sky is fucking blue about this thing. And if that's where you're at, then anything that comes after that, any other opinion that you might have on the sexual marketplace, sexual market value, on dating, on game, on the red pill, on all this other stuff, all of that falls apart, because what this guy's fundamental understanding is first of all, egalitarian equalism, which is the blank slate.
Yep.
If you kick out the blank slate and you kick out the foot of the stool, right? You kick out the foot of the blank slate and you kick out the foot of the stool that is social constructionism, that whole shitstorm just falls apart. Social justice, feminism, you name the social dynamic that's going on right now. You kick out the blank slate and you kick out social constructionism, and it all goes to shit. Every last part. And that's why we got to make fun of this, because it's an ego protection. The ego is invested in the blank slate. His ego is definitely invested in the blank slate, invested in egalitarian equalism, invested in social constructionism. Kick those two feet of the stools out from under that, and all goes to hell. And they don't have anything else left. So you challenge those things and you break that down, and you lose socialism, you lose this communitarianism, you lose gynocentrism, you lose everything if you can kick those two things out. And this is why I wanted to talk about this dude today. You're not going to touch this on Donovan. So that's why I was going to say you will not touch this part on Donovan's show, which I'm looking forward to now after this. But I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there, because everything that he said up to this point and any other opinion that he has after this, it's worthless, because that's where this is all stemming from. Yeah.
I mean, the fundamental root of all blue pill lies come from this belief system that men and women are equal. And the thing is that, see, Philion, and he doesn't get it. When I was trying to tell him that, not him, but like when I made the TikTok video and I told guys, don't ever give your vulnerabilities to women. The reason why I said that is because women are literally, like I said before, they're professional purity dealers, resource extractors, and they're also hyper aware of detecting weakness. So when you go to her with your problems, especially financial, I made a whole YouTube video about this, why you should never talk about your financial problems to women, is because women are literally hardwired. It's in their DNA to look for security. So if you show any type of deficiency in your ability to be secure, she's immediately going to start, that hypergamy radar goes on. Okay, where's I need to, because girls are the professional monkey branchers. This is why girls get over breakups faster. This is why they initiate the breakups, because girls have your replacement set up 6 months before they leave you, man. Like guys, I lost her. How do I get her back? Bro, you're done. She's been sucking that other dude's dick for half a year by now. So girls rarely, I always say it, women don't take L's. When they leave you, they already had your replacement in place months prior. So that's why you got to mitigate problems. And mitigating problems a lot of the time comes down to money. So you cannot talk about your financial problems to your girl. She's not equipped to handle those realities. I'm going to talk about that in a second. You take that vulnerability to your male friends that can actually help you and have a male experience. Because here's the thing. I always say this. Men and women, it's like two different worlds. Men live in a fact-based world. If you don't produce as a man, there's consequences to that. You don't get to reproduce. Women aren't going to want to be with you. People are going to make fun of you. Society's going to shame you for being a loser, etc. You're told as a little boy, grow up and get a good job so you can have a house and get a wife, right? You're taught from a young age, you need to do this. Women, however, they live in a bizarro world, bro. And they're told you could do everything. You can go to school, be pretty, blah, 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 etc.
You can have it all. Yep.
You can have it all. And women live in a bizarre world. And I'll tell you guys why. If you're a chick and you're fat, no one's going to tell you anything about that. They're going to be like, whoa, love your curves, girl. You're beautiful the way you are. We have this accept me as I am reality with women in the West especially. But with men, it doesn't work that way. I don't see no plus-size male models, but I do see plus-size female models. And here's the thing. Like, women are very rarely held accountable for their bad decisions. Very rarely. Any decision they make, you go, girl. It's okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to tell all you guys right now, bro. Yo, if you're fat, I'm going to clown you whether you're a man or not. You want equal opportunity? You're going to get these equal opportunity jokes. You're fat as shit. You need to lose weight just like guys do. But the thing is that women aren't critically looked at in their deficiencies at all. It's like, take me as I am. And it's like, nah, man, there's consequences to you being fat, just like what it is with men. But since women are held accountable, this is why I say they live in a bizarre world. So she doesn't understand that you have to become as a man. So you can't sit there and bring your man problems to her cloud world where she's getting validated for anything she does. She doesn't understand that there's a burden of performance. And here's the thing. Women want to go to school. They want to work. They want to earn. Cool. I respect that. But she's never going to understand the burden of performance that's put on a man. Even the most successful women aren't going to understand. And there's a reason why guys out-earn men. People want to talk about the wage gap, blah, 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 all this other shit. No, there is no wage gap, because when you take out the variables that are very important for why the wage gap exists, hours worked, dangers of jobs, types of jobs worked, the career path, experience, all this other stuff, the wage gap disappears. Why is that? Because men are taught from a young age, we have to perform or you're not a man. Women don't have that same pressure. So that is why a lot of women make less than men. They're not incentivized. They don't get the same pleasure from success that men do. When a man succeeds and is willing to give up his life to become successful, we're built for that. They're not. That's why if you look, and the studies prove this, the least happy demographic of American person is a woman in her 40s that earns over $100,000 a year and is single. Women derive their natural pleasure from having children and being a mother, not from success like men do. If women love success, obviously there's a minority of them that actually do and don't care about kids. That's fine. But on a majority standpoint, most women derive pleasure from children. Men derive it from success because that's what we're built for. They ain't. You know what I mean? So all I got to say for all the social justice warriors and the politically correct, reality doesn't conform to your social constructs. So fuck you guys, you SJWs.
Well, I again, it's the whole blank slate / social constructionism thing that only works in prosperous societies. First of all, yes, I will recognize the fact that you have to have an affluent social order in order to even have anything like that or to entertain those ideas. But I was also going to say this is that and you probably know this too. Do you remember when the WNBA came out for the first time? And nobody was going to the games, and nobody cared about the games, and nobody was, it was just kind of like, oh boy, whatever. And there was for a while there, they wanted to lower the baskets, like so that women could dunk, because women, it was like they're playing basketball, it was all below the net, right? So because they couldn't dunk, so they're talking about, we're going to lower it 2 feet so women can actually dunk, and it's just to make it more interesting, because then maybe more people will come and watch this. And I always, whenever I heard that actually on Tom Likas one time, and I was like, yeah, because they want to change the game. Because when you lower the basket, it's not basketball anymore. It's something else. It's women's basketball. It's this kind. It's peewee basketball. It's like kids. Kids can play this game kind of thing, and it fundamentally makes the game something else. And that is kind of like a metaphor for a gynocentric social order, just like what you're saying before. Women who are fat want to be considered beautiful. They want to. It shouldn't matter that they're fat. Because if you say you're a fat girl, then you're being judgmental. Don't be judgmental. You can't be judgmental because it's what's on the inside that counts and not what's on the outside that counts, which is horseshit. But the fact is that they're trying to change reality, essentially, like 100,000 years of reality in this case, because men are attracted generally are attracted to fertility, youth, beauty, younger, hotter, tighter, and they're also looking for sexual availability. Now, fat women might make themselves a whole lot more available as a result of that, but you're still not going to get it, aroused by a girl. That is not something that you are innately aroused by. But yet, what will happen? How do we change the game? Well, the reason why you're not aroused by her, or that you don't think that huge fat woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, the reason why you think that she's not beautiful is because you've been conditioned by society, by a social constructionism, to think that that's ugly and that's not beautiful. But she's really beautiful, because beautiful is whatever we want it to be. Because it's a social construct. Same thing with gender. Same thing with 68 different genders, or transgenderism. It's all based on social constructionism. That's why they want to make a distinction between sex and gender. Because if you accept social constructionism, if you accept the blank slate equalism, if you accept that, you will accept fucking anything. You will accept like revulsion. You will accept cuckoldry. You'll get off on cuckoldry because you will think that it's a social convention. You will think that the reason why you're not attracted to a woman who should be attractive to you, who's overweight, old, infertile, whatever it is, the reason why you have a problem as a man is because you don't buy into the social narrative. What's the social narrative based on? Social constructionism and the blank slate. Kick those two out and say, you know what? It's a biological thing. It's an evolutionary thing. This is how things work. How your psychology, your biology, everything else. You look at the nuts and bolts of things and you put that down there for people to look at. And you want to know why people are why even social justice warriors are very anti-science, or they want to change things up, or they want to talk about, they want to make everything a social construct. That's why, because they know that if it's not, everything goes to hell. And it's the same thing with the WNBA. Well, we can't play at this level. Let's change the game. So we can't be, as women, we can't be beautiful. Let's change the game.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't be fire women. Let's change the game. Oh, we want to make legal language more inclusive. Let's change the game. Yeah. It's not about individual skills. It's not about reality. It's let's put women in combat roles. Oh, we're going to change. You know what? When you get into combat roles, you're not going to change the game because you're going to get killed, or you're going to get somebody else killed as a result of that, because that game doesn't change. But in a gynocentric social order, women are so arrogantly sure of themselves that, well, we should just, it doesn't matter if I can do 4 pull-ups to become a combat ready, Marine or whatever. I should just be able to go out there and pull a trigger, right? No. It doesn't change the natural reality of what you are and who you are. I don't care what the blank slate says. I don't care what social constructionism says. But we're starting to look at this right now, by the way, when it comes to transgender athletes, guys who want to say, well, I'm going to be a woman and I'm going to go win this wrestling, tournament in the women's division and close to kill somebody because I'm bigger, stronger, and faster. And then I'm going to decide that I want to be a guy right after it. That's the game that doesn't change. The game that doesn't change is your biology and just evolutionary realities don't change, but we still have the mentality because of the blank slate, because of social constructionism, that it should change only for women, of course.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, man. I just want to say this because reality is sexist, whether people want to accept it or not, because we could look at sports. We could look at low attendance rates with women's soccer and them complaining that they want to get paid like men, whatever. Your women themselves don't want to watch women play sports.
Yeah.
You're going to sit there and say, oh, this is sexist. Yeah, it's sexist because when it comes to people spending their money and wanting to watch the best of the best compete, they watch men. Why? Because men is the pinnacle of physicality and athleticism, etc. When you watch female sports, I hate to say it, it's a watered down version of male athletics. And here's the other thing too, because like I said, a lot of these people don't operate in reality. They operate in social constructs. You want to see a feminist change her tune real quick? Let someone break into the goddamn house. Oh, you know what? I handled the last home invasion. You got this one, right? No, you're the man. You got to handle this. Okay, I'll defend us, baby. And then guess what? I'm responsible for her safety, right? But if I tell that chick, yo, make me a sandwich, you're a sexist. So I have zero authority over her. And this is the problem. And that's why I tell guys all the time, bruh, if you're going to date a girl seriously, she can't be a feminist. And the reason why she can't be a feminist is she's going to expect you to adhere to your masculine traits and be traditional. But she's not going to adhere to her feminine traits and be traditional. She's going to be equality and traditional, but be empowered when it suits her. So when danger comes, traditionality. Okay, I need you to defend me. You're the man. Hey, you mind making me some food? No, you misogynist. Do it yourself. I'm not your slave. And any girl that can, pick and choose her role and all this other stuff, you don't want to deal with her, because the reality with these crazy feminists, I'm all for women entering the workforce and be equal, getting equal opportunity. Cool. But when it comes to a relationship, that equality BS doesn't work. Gender roles are they're made for a reason. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why 2-parent households are successful. Why? Because you got the feminine and the masculine, and you need the two. And like you always say, Rollo, right? We're better together than we are apart. But these feminists want to sit here and say, oh, toxic masculinity. Oh, but then like I always say, they're equality. They believe in equality when it suits them, but they also want to be treated like a lady. So any girl that likes to flip-flop like that, you guys don't want to deal with her on a long-term basis, because she's going to always have negotiable roles while yours are static. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, exactly. It's old order thinking. It's taking what works for women in the old order and then still adopting what works in the new order.
Right.
And that's essentially the only reason why you can get like a takedown video by this dude is because of that. Because he's still mired in old order thinking, because that's what the blue pill conditions you for men, and has done so for effectively for a very long time. Because the longer you think like that, the less empowered you are, the less the more ignorant you are when you become useful. So when she has no use for you at 20 and you turn 30 and you've done something with yourself and you built yourself up and you're just on your ascendancy to your own sexual market value peak, that's when she's hoping that you're going to be stupid. That's when women are. That's when, well, womankind, let's just say, that's when in a gynocentric social order, suddenly you have a use. And if guys are telling you, guys are showing the game, if guys are rolling over rocks that they shouldn't be rolling over, those are the guys you have to take down. Those are guys you have to ridicule. And again, I think you're right, 100%. I think that going forward into this decade, it'll be more popular because it'll be more unignorable. So when you go and do TikTok videos, they get taken down as a result. And again, you're not doing anything groundbreaking that hasn't been done already, but you're doing it now. And it seems novel to this generation, and it seems shocking to this generation that a guy would go and say such things. And so it makes Fox News, it makes Yahoo, it makes whoever else was like, everybody, it's clickbait. Everybody jumps on top of it because it sounds outrageous and people want to feel that indignation and that rush. So yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to go mainstream very soon. But I think it's going to be as a result of looking for indignation. Go ahead.
No, I was saying you didn't show the most viral one, the one that put us on the news.
What was that?
That was the one where I said you gotta punish her.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I don't have time to do it right now. I got
no biggie.
But I'll let you do that on Donovan. But yeah, the whole thing about punishment, right? Yeah. And punishing a bad behavior. Like I would not have used the word punishment, but I would have said don't reinforce that behavior. I would say and Roosh talked about this when he still had a brain, back in 2014, which is if that's the case, I'm of the opinion, and gosh, maybe we should have covered this, I'm of the opinion that punishing a woman does no good. I think that if a woman doesn't come to it on her own, she's not going to learn anything. In fact, if you go and you put it in her face and say, this is for punishment for you doing this, blah, 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 guys like Philion are going to lose their shit, because that's an opportunity for him to sort of prove his quality to Milady in a meta scale. But it's the punishment thing is I don't think that it is, I don't think it's women aren't going to learn anything by you telling them stuff. They're going to learn by them coming to, again, imagination, right? Coming to it on their own.
I said it in the video to say, I'm going to punish you. I just said, because I was talking to men, I was like, listen, you need a punisher and tell her, hey, when we go out on, because I told them you need a punisher. Then I explained, how do you do it? You do it by telling her, you got to pay for the first round when we go out. That's the punishment.
Right.
But they didn't like I will break it down more. Guys, tune in on Saturday at 6 p.m. on Donovan's channel. We're going to break this down more with the viral TikTok videos.
I gotta leave you guys something, but I did want to say that. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I've talked about this before. It's I've got at least one essay that I know of called teaching women lessons and stuff. And I'm of the opinion right now that if you do so overtly, or if you just try to lay it out there, and you appeal to reason, it's another appeal to reason. You're never she's not gonna learn. She's gonna be very, very resistant. Even guys will do the same thing if they're feminized. But it's if you leave it alone, instead of saying, okay, bitch, you're out, you're gone, I want her. And it's if you give ultimatums are, I don't see that. It's like dread, right? It's overt dread versus covert dread, or passive dread versus active dread. Saying, hey, you're going to lose me if you don't do this, that's active dread. But it's much more effective if she comes to the conclusion and says, man, if I don't do that, I'm going to lose him. And if she thinks she's coming to that on her own, and if you can find a way as a guy to get her to that point where she's making that realization herself, and it seems organic to her, or if you're high enough value and you go, you know what, I'm going to put you on chill for a little while. I'm going to go see my other girls who are my other girls on my roster right now. You don't say that. You just do it with your behavior. You do it. So I can't see you this weekend because I'm doing something, right? And you're with your other girlfriends, whatever. And then, if she decides that she really wants to get with you, then you take her call. Then you put, you like you were saying, when you put her on read or whatever, it's like, yeah, okay. So he did see this, but he's not responding to me. Why is he not responding to me? Let her stew. Let her imagine, because that imagination is way, way more effective than anything you might directly tell her. Because if she's trying to figure it out, she's also contemplating and considering whether or not she wants to, first of all, she wants to be with you, or if she wants to invest in you. And that puts her on the spot to imagine whether she wants to or she doesn't. That's more effective and actually more pragmatic than going, well, if you don't want to fuck me, I got 3 other girls that do want to fuck me, so I'm out. Rather than her saying, if I don't fuck him, I think he's got other girls on the side and he's going to fuck them. So I better that covert dread is much more effective than overt dread.
Yeah. You got to do it through your actions. I mean, one thing that I tell guys is, if a girl flakes, go ahead, go on a date, put her on Instagram, let her see the stories, because she's definitely going to see the stories, and have another chick there. You know what I mean? Like, because you're not putting her in her face, but she's discovering it. We always say discovery trumps disclosure. That's one way to do it in the digital media age, man. Because
when guys have opportunity, when guys have, I'm going to quote Pook here. It's like women would rather, share an alpha, like a successful, hot, dominant alpha, than they would be saddled with a faithful, dutiful beta who's ready to do anything for them. Again, women want a guy, don't want a guy to cheat, but they want a guy who could cheat. If you're the guy that could cheat and she imagines you're the guy that does have opportunities, if she's thinking about that, you're probably manifesting behaviors that she's aware of that maybe you're not aware of. And she figures like there are certain ways a guy who has opportunities talks. There's a certain way that the guy carries himself. There's a certain way that the guy, what he'll tolerate and what he won't. And it won't be like, I'm not going to, he's not going to set it out in stone for you. He's not going to write it out or put it in an Excel spreadsheet for women. He's just going to do what naturally comes to a guy who has options. And women understand that. Women are better at communication. They're more sensitive to subcommunications. They're more sensitive to like vocal intonations. They are better at communication. And that's flat. Here's ladies. Here's something flattering. You're better at communication when it comes to like understanding subtleties and nuances and subcoms than men are. Great, because men are more overt, where we just say what we mean and mean what we say. Well, when that woman is reading you, when she's looking at you, when she sees how you carry yourself, how you talk, what you're saying as well, she understands, even on an instinctual level, what an alpha would say in that situation, and what a chump would say, what a beta, what a dad would say, and what like boyfriend material versus guy I want to have sex with right now would say.
Yeah, man. This was a great stream, but guys, I think people really love these streams with the theory versus the practice. You know what I mean? If you guys like this thing, like the video, comment some fire emojis in there, man, and me and Rollo will do these.
Yeah. So, anyways, you're going to be on with Donovan on Saturday morning.
Saturday, we do weights and dates at 6 p.m. on Sundays. Did I say
Eastern time?
Sunday at 6 p.m. We're gonna do it. The Philion breakdown as well. We'll go. We'll roast them a bit and it should give another take on it, especially with like the viral videos, because I had a couple of videos that went viral about like why men and women can't be friends and stuff. Right. I saw a couple of people in the chat asking, guys, my YouTube channel is Fresh and Fit. Just search Fresh and Fit together, one word, and A-N-D. And we do our live show every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. and patreon.com/freshfit, and then the YouTube channel.
Cool. And, all right. And then we're going to, let's see, New Year's Day is on Friday. So we will be doing Rule Zero. I am hosting it. So it's my turn on Saturday. I don't know what the topic exactly is going to be, but we will be doing that at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, as we always do. So right on this channel for Rule Zero. And then, of course, my shows are usually every Sunday and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. So watch for that. Book 4 is coming out, and I will announce the date like within the week pretty soon. So just
Rollo, you're coming down to Miami, right?
Yeah, well, that was good. I was going to ask you that is once the book is out, like Myron's invited me out to Miami for an in studio thing. So I'm probably going to do that towards the end, I guess, like middle to the end of January. I have to go to Vegas. Sorry, I got to go to Vegas. Excuse me. I got to go to Vegas second weekend of January. just for work stuff. So for real works, I actually still have a real job. So I got to do that in Vegas, 9th and 10th, I think, of January. So anytime after that, we'll set something up. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to coordinate so I can get there when John from Modern Life Dating is there, so we can both be there. Cool. And Hotep Jesus, maybe, huh? I don't know if you're still working on that.
Hotep's gonna come as well. Because I know Twitter's gonna love that one. Having you guys both in studio.
Yeah, I mean, I've had him on my show. We've known each other for almost 11 years, 12 years now. So I knew him before. I knew him when he was Brian. Now Hotep Jesus, like we used to bounce. We've known each other on Twitter and bounced ideas off each other.
He's very smart, man. You guys should go check out Hotep Jesus, man. He's a very sharp guy. And having both these guys in studio, because have you guys met in person yet?
Not in person. I mean, like I said, I've talked to him. He's been a friend of mine for 12 years. I've never met him in person.
You guys are going to meet in Miami. But yeah, guys, definitely we'll have Rollo in studio. We'll have Hotep. We do our live show and everything like that. And then the new TikTok, if you guys want to support, is called Real Talk Miami. Since this is the second time I've been banned off TikTok, by the way. First time was with Philion Cooper. We did a video on how to get anal from your girl, and they didn't like that one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I will see you. Let's see. I'll watch you on Donovan. I'll see you on Saturday, man. So I'm going to end. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you next time you see me with Saturday on Rule Zero. Bye.